I'm not gonna lie. When I saw you with the jacket, I was like, I know he got pants on too. And I know we heard him.
The swish pants. Nah, no swish pants on me. Just a windbreaker.
But you would wear the outfit from You People.
I would. I didn't say I wouldn't wear it. I just don't have none on today. You see, they paid. You see, your young man got paid today.
Yes, Lamar, and it's draft day. It's exciting.
Draft day.
You know, Panthers keep pounding that #1 pick.
Watch out! Blow it.
Watch out blow it. No, we gonna keep pounding on that ass next season. We're gonna handle them Bucks like we need to.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, only Buck getting handled today is Buckley.
Did he though?
They left so many people. They left so many bodies in this show.
It was they was on their Scream 6 swag.
Oh my God, all the core people.
Yeah, but I see today you got your Jerome energy.
Yeah.
Jason,
R.I.P. to the OG. R.I.P. to the OG, as you like to say.
Damn, he ain't died yet, Jason.
Hey, if they hear, they know. Spoiler alert.
So, getting a spoiler before the intro, yeah, that's what we do around here. That's what we do. But welcome to the Was It Good Though podcast, where we discuss, debate, review, and sometimes argue on movie and TV shows. If this is your first episode, this is our part 2 to our Snowfall season 6. So I don't know why you would start at part 2 and not go to part 1, but what is logic? Who knows? But yes, this is our episode 47. And we are reviewing the last 5 episodes of the final season of Snowfall. It's sad, but we definitely got a lot of areas to get to. I am one of your hosts. My name is Jazz. I am joined with Jason. Jason, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Ready for this episode. Hopefully I can, a lot of emotions in this one. The last 5 are super emotional. I'm hoping not.
You gonna cry?
I hope not. It may get personal though, but I hope not.
Okay.
I pray not. Definitely seeing some people in this.
Wink twice if you do, so then I know, so I don't drop a joke, because that's gonna be awkward.
It's best. It's best if you do.
Wait, it's best that I know.
Oh, it's best if you make the joke if I begin, because then I can probably catch it and stop.
Okay, so it's not gonna make me sound insensitive.
No, it's fine. I told you right now, so people know.
Okay. Woo. If I do make a joke, I am not an asshole. Jason said it's okay. Let's go ahead and get started. Would you like me to get us into?
We can bounce it off. I love how you did it last week. So hey, if you still got that juice, hey, I'm gonna pass it back to you.
Well, look, I beat Leon ass last week.
So you answered the call when he came outside.
I did. He wasn't calling me no bitch. Pointing at my cousin.
He ain't gonna do it, but I got it.
Look, this ain't about to be no Craig and Debo type of fight out here like it was with him and D. But also, just like last week, this is a adult conversation because we are reviewing an adult TV show, so there will be profanity and inappropriate things. So this is your warning. Episode 6, Concrete Jungle. We are pretty much opening up to the scenes of the aftermath of what Franklin did to Teddy's father. Got him out the paint. Good. And so Teddy calling his baby mama. Is she the baby mama or the ex-wife?
Both.
Okay. So shout out to her for having both titles. That's what I'm talking about. But he calls her in the middle of the night, was just like, there's a threat on your life. I need you to get up. What she did is what I'm glad V and her mama didn't do. When Franklin said, get out the house, and they just left and asked no questions. What Julia did was, wait, what do I need to do? Get your ass up and leave, and I'll call you later. No, what's happening? You asking too many questions, and in a horror movie, that's going to get you killed. And I wish Franklin boys would have just snatched her ass up right then and there.
Man, that would have been hard. I wanted Franklin to have people on both houses. Same. Or have people on both people. And grab them so Teddy know, because Teddy been doing too much, man. Teddy has been moving around like he was James Bond, John Wick, or somebody.
Exactly. You didn't say Ethan from Mission Impossible, so I guess that means he'll be on his shit. Damn. At least we know who won that debate.
Hey, look here. Ethan is a completely different animal. He's not doing the stuff that John Wick goes and does. It's a completely different movie. Although it's action, it's completely different.
Do they both catch bodies?
He catch them, but he's not catching them like John Wick is. No, it's not that type of.
But do they both catch bodies?
They do, but not. Oh. I mean, John Wick killed over 103 people in the last movie. Like, how do you even compare that to any movie?
But you know who hasn't killed, or who has killed more than John Wick?
Who that?
Reed. Boom. Yeah, you like that? You like that pivot back onto the show? Look at that. That girl smooth with it.
He killed the whole town, the whole community.
Exactly.
And the country.
Right. But we're gonna get into Reed. We definitely gonna get into him. And so Julia, she gets up, and then we go to the scene where V and her mom are at the airport. I guess they're at the strip landing where Franklin's strip. His private plane. So for you in this scene, did you understand where her mother was coming from?
I did. I truly understood her concern for her child. Also, just seeing someone in that position, like when you see somebody that has lost everything, and you always have to ask that question: what is this person willing to do to get it back? And we seen Franklin. There was no end to what Franklin would do to get that money. So I understood where she was coming from. But for V, it was just, I guess she was taken back because you've never been a mother to me. So now you want to be this righteous person to tell me what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. But I do love in that situation, Franklin gave her the option to do whatever she wanted. He didn't take that option from her as her mom kind of was trying to, which I think that's what really played into her, because I felt like she probably would have left hadn't her mother did it the way she did it.
Right. To where she didn't already have a plan laid out and not have V know any information on it. She just like, wait, passports, when did you get that? She said, as soon as you called me, sis. 2 months ago is when I got our passport, because I knew this wasn't going to pan out. So I definitely liked her mother in this scene. And with her concern, she didn't show fear into Franklin. Even seeing what she just saw. She was just like, yeah, so we've been talking. And then she tried to smoothen it out to where it was pretty much V trying to leave for her being afraid for her and their child. And so, which could have definitely played on Franklin. Franklin is like, fuck all of that. V is like, he gave her the choice. And so V said something in the scene where she was just like, this man has never lied to me or raised a hand at me. And when I was on my rewatch, I said, foreshadowing.
I caught a lot of stuff. Like a lot of stuff Franklin kind of predestined beforehand, and it was just like, dang, you can't even be mad at that really. But yeah.
That's why I was just like, second time around, I'm like, there's a few people I can see myself defending that I didn't see myself defending when I first watched. But with her standing with Franklin, did you appreciate what she did? Were you just like, oh yeah, that's wifey for real? Or were you just like, maybe she has an ulterior motive, but waiting to see how everything played out?
Oh man, unfortunately, the term that we hate to hear is ride or die. But you want that person when you're in the game that's gonna have your back no matter what. Like regardless of what decisions you're choosing, even if the actions, the consequences of the actions could be horrible for that person, you want somebody to be in your corner that you can still count on. So at this point, like I said, I did the rewatch. So I don't feel like she truly had ulterior motives at all, even through everything else. But you can see the worry. You can see the stress that is taken on her.
Right. And I think if her mother had another 20 to 30 minutes to talk to her of leaving, I think she probably would have left, because she just, like, V in this entire situation, as you see Franklin unfold, you start to see like to me, I can see the caution and then the worry, but then I was just like, anything could happen to her. She's about to be like, I'm out of here. But she's also a mother. She has to think about her unborn child. Like, you love Franklin, but you start to see your man is like, crackling.
Unhinged. Yeah, he's unhinged. He's there's no humanity left in him.
Right.
Truly.
He just snatching bodies in front of his future wife and her mama. Like, you can't
Like
bring that up
it's
at the family reunion. What was one of your most exciting moments? Well,
in the middle of Spade's game, man, that boy Franklin cut this old man throat in the middle of dinner. Hey, what y'all got going on today?
like, wait, he cut who? My book. Like, it's nothing. But definitely, and when her mother was proposing is also another callback later on, towards the end of the season. But then we go to Jerome, and well, you actually go to Louis because Jerome left and Louis doesn't know exactly where he is. And then we hear a crash. Jerome is drinking. Jerome is just like drunk, and he's like, I'm out of here. And Frank, I don't know why I want to call her Franklin. Louis is like, you just trying to argue, and Jerome just gave her all the bars in this scene. And I was just like, you see where Jerome was at the beginning of the season. And we also mentioned it in our part 1, where we were seeing this toll of him going against his family and how it was taking a toll on him. But at this point, it was just all coming out. Like, how did you feel seeing Jerome just go in on Louis?
She needed it. She deserved it. And they kind of try to later in the season try to humanize her as to who she was, why she her motivations in that. But it's hard because as a Black woman in the 80s, a lot of that trauma was unaddressed. Like even with given who she was with in the beginning, like she was just like she's always been number 2. So we kind of see her development here is like she wants to be that number 1 person. And you brought it to my attention. You can just see how everybody that's talking, they always talk through her to Jerome. So they felt as if even though she was running it, air quote, they always felt like Jerome was the one in charge, and it was always her. And he was just like he just pretty much like security to make sure his wife made it home. That's that's what it was. And he went and he told her, he told you basically you don't have a way to be happy. Like through all of this, regardless of what you do or how you get it, you won't obtain what you're looking for. And that, I feel like that was foreshadowing to ultimately her downfall.
Right. And then especially when he told her, like in the earlier scene of like, I'm going to Jamaica. He's going to Kingston. And she just like, what you mean? And he told her, he just like was yelling at her, and you could just see the pain. And like you said, it was just, when he just said all of that to her, I was like, damn. He was like, I couldn't change you. I was just trying to love you. And when he said, why don't you just do like end all of this just because you love me? And I was just like, damn. And even with your husband saying all of that, sis, you had the nerve to wake up on some bullshit the next day. And he was more sober, but he was just like, I'm just tired. But we ain't got to the next morning scene yet. But when she was just like, you don't mean that, he's like, that's the realest shit I've ever said to you. And he was like, and he just bounced. I was just like, whew. I'm like, when are y'all dying?
Yeah, you knew something was going to happen to it into that party there, because it was they're playing. I mean, a lot of things are being played up. Them being leads in the show is already one thing, but when you see one person getting a lot of screen time, you kind of know, unfortunately, what's going to happen.
I always get it when they're trying to leave. When they're like, oh, I'm going out of the country, or I'm moving, or I'm getting out the game. I'm like, oh yeah, you about to get out the game, all right. The game of life. You about to die. But now we got Franklin, he goes and warns Cece and Leon. It's just like, Teddy gonna try to come after us, revenge, et cetera, et cetera. And then Leon was like, I mean, if he want to come to the hood, that cracker motherfucker can try. And I was like, okay. Do you remember Leon saying that about Teddy?
Yeah, when he was at the when it was in the what's it called? I'm like, he, then Sissy, he asked Sissy to go hide as well. She was like, no, I'm good. And he was like, we'll watch over her while she's in the hood. Which that don't look like the hood where she said. Am I tripping? It looked completely different from where, I mean, I don't know how far or how close they stay to Leon, but it looks like 2 completely different neighborhoods.
You mean the house like Franklin grew up in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I don't know if she was staying at her house or she was.
I feel like she was staying at her home.
Okay.
She had to be.
Then nah, because I thought she had got a. Look, I don't know what Sissy was
There,
at.
there was no real clarification in that, but I felt like she was at home because when she went home, we know Wanda was there in the previous episode, so that's why I felt like she still stayed at the house, and that was because why would she go to somewhere worse if she got a home in the hood? Like, why would you go to a different home in the hood? Like, unless you was hiding, unless you were trying to be in hiding, but I don't feel like she was hiding. I feel like she wanted to be seen.
And why was she still in the hood?
It goes back to your thing though. Her whole thing of her not being a threat to Teddy, I felt like she wanted to be in plain sight. Like, nigga, you gonna see me. So she kept that thing on her at all times, and.
She did. Yeah. And then you also see like the closer bond that Leon and Sissy has, which we remember that bond of when after he shot that little girl and Sissy just like, let me braid your hair, and she had Mario playing in the background. So
I wish they would have messed this show up with Mario in the background.
Now I gotta find the clip and put Mario in the background.
Braid my hair. Great album, by the way. Great album.
Yeah. But so then we check out where Ruben is. Ruben at the house and his wife beater chilling, and then you got somebody knocking at the door. I'm not answering.
New boo. His boo coming back.
So his boo should have keys.
You getting wait, no. How many of your boos have ever had keys?
That would have say that question again. I want to make sure I answer it correctly.
How many of your boos in your lifetime has had a key to your spot?
Oh, none of them.
All right then.
But also, their shoes wasn't in my closet either. Hey, got that ass.
I definitely leave articles of clothing wherever never mind.
Wow. All right, but so Ruben making tea and Teddy shows up. Ruben should have just put a hole in Teddy's head. Like, right, Teddy was really walking around untouchable type of energy. Yeah. And it worked because he just rolling up in Ruben's house. Ruben is just like, but Teddy asked me, he's like, why are you even involved in this? And then Ruben's like, what you're doing is wrong, yada, yada, yada. And Teddy was just like, that ain't none of your fucking business. Or he said something along those lines. And I'm like, how you gonna let this white man come in your house and bitch you?
I'm trying to understand in that, like, how, because like Teddy, after he got his girl back, Teddy felt like you said, he was moving really untouchable, like nothing could happen to him. Like he didn't just rob a person of $73 million. Like
his daddy died yesterday. You want to communicating threats? Yo.
He should have just killed. Why didn't he just kill Ruben right then and there?
I think he was trying to give him a chance, but in my mind, if I had been dealing with this type of game for 6 seasons, I'm not giving anybody a chance. I'm killing everybody because folks come back or they're gonna try to kill you. But Teddy just he seems like he likes to walk around intimidating people.
His arrogance got to him.
Like he all high mighty and big shit. And Ruben made him some tea. You not coming into my house communicating a threat, and I'm giving you some tea.
He asked for it. Could you make me some? Like, bro, what?
You thirsty, bitch? Like, no.
I thought he poisoned it.
Everybody did, except for Teddy. Teddy was like, you wish. And then he said, I think he said something like, are you serious? And then he took a sip, only a sip. So that means that whole cup of tea is wasted because Teddy didn't take it with him. He didn't get no to-go cup. He just left that shit on your table. And then he was just like, if I see you again, I'm going to kill you. And he was just like, you have no idea how easily it was for me to kill you tonight.
Why didn't you?
Jason, you letting Teddy come in your house, in your space?
I would have blew his head off as soon as he walked through the door. It would have been just a lie. That would have been the end of that. But I think with him, that's the second thing. Teddy's trying to get back into the CIA, so I feel like a lot of people needed to be alive for it to actually work. So like him, he couldn't kill Ruben. Like I think he would have eventually got to a point of killing him, but I don't think he was supposed to kill him. But yeah, if I was Ruben, I would have. And I think the same exact thing for Ruben. Ruben wasn't supposed to kill him. He needed him to be turned in so they can whistleblow on the United States government. Said one of them niggas should have blew each other head off, man. That was a horrible game of chess where they both basically ended in cat. Like nobody won.
You see who won though. You see who won. We both do. But it's the next morning, and now we have Louis and Jerome talking from the conversation the night before. And like you said earlier, this is where Louis basically was just like, you see through me, and it's coming to light as to how she's behaving this way. Mm-hmm. And just letting Jerome know all of this. And Jerome basically asked her, is it worth dying for? And then she was just like, self-worth is worth dying for. And I think the better question was, is it worth one of your loved ones dying for it? Because if you think, is it just worth dying for? It's just like, are you willing to risk your life? But in that game, it's always the people around you, your loved ones, as the ones getting killed, as we see with Louis. And so Jerome was just like, nah. And she's like, I just need more time. I make promises. And I'm sitting here like, your husband is standing in front of, he was sitting down in front of you, telling you he is done. And he's showing so much compassion. Like, sis.
We out of there. I'm not doing the drop. I would have left the game. I would have been on the way to Jamaica. Like, nah, you got it. I'm gonna let you and Scully handle that.
All of that. That's exactly what I done. But she went to go get on her horses. That's her therapy. Yeah. And we realized that was like Kane's people had been out there waiting watching for Louis to come through. Mm-hmm. And we see the result of that. Like, how did you feel like seeing that scene play out, and then the next scene of Kane having Louis in his warehouse?
So I know we are definitely protect Black women. We wanna cover, but this is a dope show. This is a show about dope. It's the game, and the game is the game. So I appreciated her getting snatched up and beat up a little bit. I had to preface my statement before I said it, but I appreciated it because they should have shot her. That should have just ended it then and there. But they're even them. There's everybody in this show was trying to get somebody through somebody else. Like every time it was always that. So like they got her tied up, yoked up in the place, and I appreciated Kane's character. He really, the intimidation he was putting down, the way he spoke it, the way he enunciated his words, the way he delivered everything he was delivering, it was just like, man, this nigga might be crazy. This dude might be crazy.
Yeah. I was trying to imagine how he sound on the phone.
I bet you do. I bet you would.
I'm sure a lot of people would. And if they didn't, they are now. You're welcome. But it was wild because it was a quote in this episode that connects to Game of Thrones, or I immediately thought of Thrones when it was said. But I don't want to get past Oso and Franklin meeting up because they're talking, and then this is the first time they've talked after the events of Franklin killing Teddy's father. Mm-hmm. And so Oso is just like talking to Franklin. Franklin's like, I'm sure Teddy, he's probably paying you a lot of money to try to find me. And then Oso just let him know, I got a lot of problems and you're the only one that can solve them. First off, if that was a bar, like if somebody else said that, so like a man said that to a woman, look, damn, for real? So, but I was like, okay, also, but he got a lady and all of that. But I was just like, because they have chemistry, Oso and Franklin.
They do, since first season.
Right, because Franklin was a fan of Oso because he was a wrestler. So did you expect like their characters to actually no, let me save that question. Did you think in this scene that those two were gonna pretty much get together and set up Teddy, or could it have been Oso's just pretty much thinking about himself because like we said in the last episode, his hands is in so many different pots.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I text you whenever I was gonna watch it. Like I told you what I thought was gonna happen. Definitely all the way wrong, from the beginning of the season to the end of the season to midway through the season finale, the series finale. I don't. I. So what I truly expected, because I think that's the question you asked. So no, I didn't expect any of that. Like I don't know what I expected. Like I knew at some point either Franklin was gonna find out or they was gonna get busted together, and it was gonna be that's what it was gonna be, like with this situation. So yeah, I was just watching it because I got everything wrong watching
Right.
this.
Yeah, because I know, because I was just like, everybody's gonna catch a bullet. And I'm like, also got the CIA, DEA over here.
KGB.
So I'm like, so everybody's gonna get to a warehouse and just it's gonna be a huge shootout. Because all of them is coming with also somewhat. Because Franklin didn't know about the DEA at this time.
Mm-mm.
So I was curious. I was just like, okay, so what's about to happen? Because Oso's like, look, man, I got to get my family out of here. And he was pretty much trying to get all the passports so then they could leave. And so I think Franklin ended up at back at Sissy's house, or wherever he was. He got a phone call from Kane.
He was with Leon, giving him them bricks.
Okay, at the drop.
Mm.
Okay, and so Kane called Franklin, and he was just like, "You like fishing?" Franklin like, "No." What you need, man? The hell? Asking about my hobby?
Voice. Kane voice.
Right. And so Kane was just like, I caught a big fish. Come and see. This line was said by Ramsay in Game of Thrones, I believe season 5, when he wrote the letter to Jon Snow saying he had his brother. Rickon. And he was like, he was just kept calling him a bastard and everything. He was like, come and see, come and see. So when Kane was saying that, I said, okay, Ramsay.
Okay.
I was
okay.
like,
I like it. I like it.
Not saying that they took that line from, because Black people don't take nothing from nobody, but that's just what it reminded me of. And immediately Franklin knew. He was like, oh shit. So during this scene where you see Kane talking to Louis again, he's trying to find out where Buckley is. If you were Louis, tied up on the ground, what you doing? With Kane's request of what he needs from you, like, how you behaving?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I feel like it was going to be a prolonged thing, because we know Kane is not playing, right? We know Kane is capable of what he's capable of, because he showed us that in the previous season. So for me, it would have been a thing of prolonging my death as long as I can. Like, what else could you really do? Because you give up the information, you're gonna die right then. Because there's no guarantee he's gonna keep me. So my whole thing is, maybe if I keep him talking, somebody gonna do the right thing in this situation, some kind of way.
You thought Bruce was gonna come save you? You think Batman gonna bust in the warehouse and be like, Kane? That's what you think gonna happen?
He could definitely he have a bulletproof vest on, so he'd be coming through there, But nah, I'm not expecting Batman. But we've seen, well, we haven't really. I mean, shit, Franklin them got away from a tiger, so I don't know what they make it through this too.
Man, look. So I'm not lying to you. Soon as I got kicked in the stomach, bro, I'm throwing up. Yo.
Oh man.
I told y'all in the chat last week, soon as somebody hit me with the end of their damn gun,
I'm out the game. Over there, officer. Yep.
Yo, my hand is on their shoulder. Come here. Come here.
You should look at my head. Look at my head. You can be like a Nia Long character in Friday. Look at your face. Look at your face. No, there you go right there. Look how he did me. Look how he did me. What was y'all doing? I don't know.
Not you bringing Friday up. Felicia said she was cool. Can I borrow y'all's VCR? Yo, bye, Felicia. And so you have Franklin comes in, and Franklin sees Louis.
Mhm.
And so Kane liked to tell childhood stories, as we can see. We learned a few personal stories between him and his girl, and then the childhood went here. I'm like, yeah, you about to die. Like you said, damn, that's true. Like when you have somebody with more time on the screen, they about to die. Because we saw Kane a lot.
I'm telling you, the last 2 episodes, we've seen 2 people a whole lot. And that's why, I mean, it played out that way.
Yeah. And so like when he obviously every time we see Louis, has more bruising on her. And then in this scene, she's getting what is it?
Branded,
Branded.
like the horse
And
stable.
right. And so Franklin is just standing there and he's just like, as soon as I get what I need from her, then you can take her out. Franklin's like that. I'm not trying to do all of that. And Kane's talking some more. Franklin was like, can I get the room? He didn't say all those words. He started talking like John Wick. Room, and that's it. And people just knew what he said. Because I'd have been like, what that nigga say? Like he would have had to repeat himself for me. And so we see Louis and Franklin talking. What was you thinking during this scene? Were you just like, okay, they're gonna try to shoot their way out of there? Did you think it was gonna end the way that it did?
So with him actually trying to talk with her, I felt like I knew some type of compassion because that was real cool. Like that's like the game began with them two, like becoming. Because Jerome was like, "No, I'm not doing that. The cost too high when it comes to that." But she was like, "Oh yeah, I got the people. I'm gonna show you how to do." He got whooped in front of her club and some more. Like everything, like that's who it started with in that situation, family or not. Like he can. Well, I mean that was family ultimately. So I didn't think now it was gonna be a way for them to cock a plan, but I do see that she was trying to. She was like, "Look, I got you. If you can just get me out this situation, I give you what you need." He was like, "Shit, I don't need you now. I got it already figured out. You need to get that information up. Them niggas gonna do. You don't want the mother nigga get to you and do what they gonna do."
That's why I would have snitched 30 minutes ago. Go ahead and put that. Nah. Jason, like, let me get 2 hours to live. I'm like, bro, I know what's at the end of that. Nah.
Man.
But and then Franklin leaves, and obviously when he left out of there, I was just like, ain't no way. I was like, nah, you gotta tell Jerome. I'm just like, ain't no way Franklin became this type of character.
Yeah, exactly. So there's still some humanity left in them. Some
Right.
kind of compassion, regardless of where they are today.
Would you have done the same thing that he did and how he did it?
For sure. I definitely would have, played my hand in that. Like I gotta get this, squared away. I gotta get this, solved. He tries to make a call, of course, Rome not answering. Gets Leon to make the call. He gets back on the hamburger phone.
Did you so in this scene before that, and I did see the hamburger phone on the second watch. I was like, oh shit, there it go again. But Leon is getting his hair braided.
Getting his braided, yep.
And
in the hood.
Right. And then Wanda's like, Leon, Franklin on the phone, he sounds stressed. So I love that because I was like, that's how that shit is.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is like how long they take to braid them hair because he got his hair was fully braided when he made it to the meet.
It was. Do you think he was gonna walk around with hair?
Yeah, it's a serious situation.
But the gang already coming. So one person, look, Jason, if I'm in the chair and I'm sitting on the dryer from a retwist.
He mattered though. He mattered in the end. Leon mattered. Even if he was a lookout, he mattered in that. So yes, that one person mattered. And one of their people got killed. So and I'm not even talking about the main person, but one of the people that came with them to take the people out.
He probably couldn't focus if his hair wasn't all the way braided. But can you imagine after all of that, he's like, all right, let me go finish getting my hair done.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be there. Give me nigga, this is life and death. What are you doing?
Wanda probably was like, so is it good? No, but I gotta finish getting this done. And so Kane's homeboys are having a party. Kane's homeboys come through, and we see a broke Money Mike. This nigga. I thought
You was a loquacious hoe, ain't you?
I got loquacious in my notes. I was just like, his character just seemed so extra to me. I was like, wait, Kane, how do you know somebody like Broke Money Mike? Did you ask that question? Like, how did y'all meet? You didn't.
Nah, cause Kane just seemed kind of shysty anyway. So like he just seemed like he knows people from around the way.
They was in jail together, Jason. You know what that mean?
Hey man.
That mean I can't even look at Kane like that no more.
That's not true. Don't do it like that now.
He can still call me because the voice. And so we pretty much see what their intentions are. And it's wild because like when they were outside, it was two guys at the gate, and one of them was just like, man, I'm about to be out of here. And he was like, you want to go with me? He was like, hell no, they about to run a train, or they got hoes, coke, money. Yeah. And I'm like, it's only one female in there, and it's Louie, and she like really more beat up now. He was like, don't nobody want to run a train on nobody, girl that's crying. And he was like, all the niggas in there. And I was just like, I hope all of y'all die.
I wonder, and not do you think Ant set that up? I mean, not necessarily set that up, but like, do you think he knew it was going down?
Who?
And so the guy that left, there was the one guy you talking about. He's the one guy. He's the one guy that was talking sensible the entire time.
So actually, now that you say that, I thought it was weird on the second timing. But do you remember when Franklin, like after the shot started, Franklin and Leon came outside, and somebody had got shot. They were in the car, but I don't remember what they said in that scene.
It was that was somebody that was with them. Was I don't think because he was on. Remember he was on feet because he had to go walk to the store.
Right.
And that because like I felt like when Franklin came back, he was like he gave him a nod like, okay, I see what this is. You want something from the store? And he said you want to ride with me to the store. He said, all good, I'm good then. He said, he said, peace, I'm out. Like he knew he wasn't coming back to that, to that place. So I appreciated that character like having some couth about himself, some kind of respect to be able to be like, nah. I mean, he was only one person, so truly, I don't know what he could have really done to affect that entire situation, but he did leave out in the middle of that.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Would you have left, or would you have just been like,
oh yeah, I would have been out of there. I would whenever she was in there, I would have left. Like the whole thing of just having her, I would have, they would have just been after me after that, but nah.
Well, I guess if you knew something was about to go down,
if I knew they was gonna take advantage of her in that
no, not even Louie. If you knew like somebody was about to come up here and start shooting.
Oh, I'm getting on down. What am I?
I'm saying like if you knew like okay, it looked like some wild shit about to happen. We about to die.
Who's shooting? No, because if I get it, if I'm in a shootout, I want it to be, it's just by chance. I don't want to be in a shootout I know on purpose. That's why I didn't sign up for the army. Like I'm not going to go. Like why am I signing up to go die? I possibly could go die. No, something could happen to me. I may not be able to come home. I don't want no charge that bad.
Nah, yeah, I feel you. Definitely. But during this entire shootout of everything happening, like
Frank a cold blood killer, man.
He's smooth with it. His aim is on point. He got that wick in him. But Franklin don't never wear no vest. So he just
he don't get shot. Well, one time.
Mel don't count, but she do.
Yeah, she do.
But I also like when they went through the door to get into the warehouse, Scully stayed outside.
Yeah.
And so, but I feel like when we saw Jerome and Kane, and I'm so glad Jerome is the one who shot Broke Money Mike through the door.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see the exchange between Jerome and Kane. And he was like, come on, OG, we from the same hood. This kind of reminded me on my second rewatch of Jerome and Dee's conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like, I wasn't sure if, well, I would think Kane and Jerome are the same level of OG that.
I agree.
Okay. So when I was seeing that exchange, it reminded me of the conversation between Jerome and Dee. And we see what happens there. I immediately knew Jerome got shot because they took him out of frame and they just showed Kane falling to the ground. But then I also thought Louis scared ass got shot. Like she should have got shot somewhere in the leg or something.
I mean, she had already got beat down pretty bad. So only person that could have shot her would have been Jerome.
On accident, but it would have went through her and got Kane.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then I would have wrote for him to survive. But we see that did not happen.
It did.
Rome got shot, and now Louis is saying we can go. He's going to the upper room.
Upper room.
And you staying here, sis. You should have left this morning.
Should have been gone.
But she was over here worrying about self-worth in the eyes of other people and not your husband, because of course your husband saw your self-worth. And now he dead. He dead.
Lord, take me now.
But yeah.
Yeah, nah. But I'm thinking about that now. I don't think Kane probably wasn't going to kill her. He was just trying to get the information out of her. Because even then, when he got there, he was like, "Man, just give me Buckley. I don't want nothing else." But that was one key part in here too. They reached out to Buckley before going to the situation. We see that crack has him. That crack got a hold of him. So he didn't respond. But I think he wasn't going to respond because he just wasn't. I think I don't know if he was afraid or it was because he was high in that situation.
He didn't even check his beeper. So
Ah,
even if it was a hoe or his mama or a
his
kid,
child,
none of that mattered. He did not look at his beeper. He's like beep 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 beep, and he just passed out. So I don't think he was screening his beeper. He just that crack had him all the way gone. But episode 7, Jason, I'm gonna let you take this one.
Charnel's house. So we open up. It's still same night. Franklin, they're at the funeral home, and they've already set up arrangements for Jerome. You can see Louie. She's super distraught. Seem like she has been through the ringer. So I mean, it's physically on her, mentally, emotionally, and you can just see all of them. The core characters: Lee, Jerome, not Jerome, but Franklin, and we see Louie. But then Franklin, he goes to go visit his mama, and this was a tough one because her whole thing this entire time was fix the beef, fix the situation. And he kind of tells her, Liz with Louis. He said, at that point you see her mom like, so if he with Louis, then where's Jerome? And they go back to the funeral home, and he shows her the body, and he tries to console her, but she ain't with it. Like she, get off me. How within this. Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. You start to see her character distancing herself emotionally and physically from Franklin. Slowly but surely. And so like with her reacting to Jerome, seeing his body there, you would think like on the first thought of like, okay, she's an upset sister. But then the reaction of just like, because she asked, did he suffer? Franklin's like, nah, he got it quick. He didn't say that last part. I added that. But so she caught solace of that, like he wasn't in any pain. And so you just start to see her character. On my second watch, I was just like, oh yeah, Sissy is moving. I'm like, she about to do something that we're not going to expect. And Franklin's not seeing none of it. But he also not really sleeping well. So there's that.
Yeah, nah, he definitely not. Definitely not. And then like I said, we catch up with Lee. He drops off Louis. He's like, can I do something for you? Can I help? And she was like, for what? The war over, right? Which, I mean, technically, yeah, it is. You see her in the house. They kind of show that, I wonder how long we were since they got married, because you still see gifts. It feel like those are like wedding gifts, right? I'm not tripping.
Yeah.
Like they still got wedding gifts they hadn't opened up, which that's devastating. They still have the decorations in the house they haven't put up from the wedding. You see her going through like cards. I'm assuming probably like wedding gifts that was given to them in there. So for you, Jazz, how did did Louis convey a good emotion for you, like to the death of Jerome, or was it just the impact of Jerome's character?
Oh, are you? Oh, you trying to catch me? You trying to catch me? Are you? All right, let me make sure I
And I'm not,
word.
I'm not asking about her acting. I just personally feel like because of who Louis was and how Louis moved, it was hard for me to feel for her at any point at this point because she could have just left. It would have been a thing, but her pride got the best of her and she wanted to stay in one more time. We always know it's always that one last time because all it takes is one time for something to switch. But for me, because of the connection we had with Jerome from the highs to the lows to everything we seen, I felt like just me, the way I felt about his character, that was more impactful than how I felt about Louis' emotion towards her. Like their love, it was cool until it wasn't, I guess as well.
Yeah, nah, I definitely raised half an eyebrow at the end of the last episode. I was like, I wish you could have gave
Okay.
me. I wish you would have gave me more. I was like, come on. But then also their argument in that episode, I wanted to get more as well.
Mm-hmm.
So about 2 or 3 of those scenes, I was just like, I I felt like something was missing. It didn't hit me emotionally. So I will say, yes, that scene was heavy due to Jerome's performance more
Mm-hmm.
than Louis. Absolutely, for sure.
And then we she gets a visitor, Miss Sissy. Regardless of that Sissy comes over, she tries to try to console her, try to speak with her, and she's just telling her, hey, at this point we see we've lost things, we've all lost things. So at this point we can pack it up and we can just do something else. We can go about it differently. But Louis is still blaming Franklin. At no point, like, there's the lack of accountability of what she's like, even her part in the situation, because like Sissy said, like, we all played a part in here. Nobody's leaving this game with that. Nobody's leaving with clean hands. So why are we still fighting each other? We need to come together in here. And she was like, you at least you have something that you carry, but you still have something you care about. I don't have nothing. But that woman has lost a lot. Even regardless of like, that was your husband, cool. I'm watching the downfall of my son play out in front of me. I've already lost my husband. I'm watching this community fall. Like, he lost his money, everything we was building. We've all taken losses. That's unfortunately a part of the game.
You know, Sissy did not care about that money. So do
Nah,
not put that on that list.
yeah, you're right. She was out. She had her own little contingency plans going on in the background that we did not know. We were not catching. Sissy was giving up everything. You want my house? You can have it. You sure? Like, what? What are you giving the house away? Like, you can leave that to the legacy girl. What you doing? Wasn't
Sissy
ready for that.
said, nah, fuck all of that. But
Fuck all you niggas.
and it's true though, because then it's one of those things where it's just like, you lost your husband, but yesterday you said this game was worth dying over. So you see how it's one of those things to where you can talk a big talk until the actions are put into play. And now you're sitting here like upset, sitting in your own shit. Your husband was trying to leave yesterday.
Yesterday.
It only takes one time. And it wasn't even a situation of him dying at the drop. It was something that you pretty much got y'all into. And so we see later on, as Louis plays back a lot of the past events, she starts to see like, okay, now I see where my hands were in this whole thing. So
she should have known. She should have known.
She should have, but
I'm gonna catch back up with Teddy for just a brief moment. Catch up with Teddy and his hoe a little bit, but Teddy and this girl at the house. They hear some knocking. They're like, "Hey, get the gun." You get over to the side. Open the door. It's Julia. Julia popped in. And then Parissa, she pops out and just like, why you gotta be seen? Like, why do you want to be? Why do you got to be seen at this moment of all moments? Why do you got to be seen now? He was like, when did this happen? And he was like, when did that happen? So
so in this scene, I hate I hate that Julia was in a black dress because it's hard to see a pregnant stomach in a black
Got you.
dress.
Got
If
you.
she would have rolled up in some green or blue, something to where you can actually see that baby bump, I think that scene would have been would have hit differently because when it I was watching it at night like this, we probably 30 minutes in the episode, so it's about like 10:30. Might be half sleep. I'm like, why are we looking at her stomach? I couldn't see it. But
Yeah, nah, baby girl, baby girl was pregnant, and she pretty much she told, told Teddy like, you need to give the money back. It's not that big. Like, who cares about, you have all these different dreams and goals, just give it back. It doesn't matter. Like, nothing that you gain or that you're doing is gonna matter. It's not worth the danger that you putting your son in. And she kind of foreshadows too. He said, you're gonna be in more danger because I'm gonna do a public execution, which is a foreshadowing, but it was definitely different when she was talking about it. He was like, what? Like, she's looking like, what? And they, we have another scene of Carissa and Teddy. They're just talking about it, and she was like, I always thought, she was just somebody with a stick up her butt, but she's right. Like, you like, the money can belong to us, and you trying to give it back to them. Like, what's going on, Teddy? I'm giving you my heart. Like, come on, like come in. Let me. Yeah.
they're so awkward. And
I never understood it. Like, if she would have been the person overseas, I would have almost understood it. But like, because we never seen this woman before, just like Franklin, all his hoes that come up. Who are these? Who are these? Who are these women?
stranger danger. But she was just basically telling Teddy to his face, I appreciate her bluntness, but I think their relationship was extremely weird and awkward. But she was just like, if I don't have a purpose, I'm going to get very bored and I'm going to go elsewhere. Can you imagine a woman saying that to you to your face and she knows that you got $74 million available?
Money don't buy happiness.
It doesn't. But
obviously that Schlong wasn't doing it either. I don't know.
She definitely didn't say that I'm gonna keep fucking you though, but I'm gonna leave. She didn't drop that bar. But he was just like, do you want half of it? And I'm like, y'all motherfuckers over here drinking coffee, black coffee, splitting Franklin's money. Yo,
yeah, nah, he should have put a hole in both of them.
that bitch definitely needed a hole in her face, but that was another one that they let it go away.
Man, man. But we catch up with Lee and Franklin. Franklin reaches out to Lee. He asks for half a meal, so he can. I think he's giving this to Oso, so that Oso can go ahead and get his plan into order. But we, also see, like you mentioned it previously, Louis is having bad dreams, but also Franklin is having bad dreams as well. Unable to sleep, woke up choking, like that was, I guess everything
attack.
is, like everything playing heavy on him. But now when she was having hers, now she got out in the streets and she was just going crazy. You can see her just getting unhinged, pulls up to Scully's spot, just kind of going off on the people, which they should have shot her, but the guy at the top knew who she was. He knew who she was, so he was like, Miss Saint, that's Louis, let her go. And Scully brings her into the house, and she asks him, how do you come to peace or come to terms with the death? Like, you lost your child and her mother, like, very close. Like, how do you come to agree? Like, she just angry, or she just want to burn everything down. He said, every day. Like, I live with that every day, but they won't allow me to, because I have to live for them now at this point. And I really love his development, but then it's also like, just like, that's like almost like watching somebody develop over film through years. So that's gonna be Stacy. So every time we see him, that's Stacy, and it's just like, just seeing him still in the game is always just like, it's just nice to see.
Right.
Regardless if he get typecast, I'm there for it.
Yeah. Yeah. He does a really great job. And I definitely enjoy his character as well. I'm gonna ask when we get further down of some of your favorite characters or who you think developed the most. But
Gotcha.
so this scene was impactful to me as well because I was just sitting here thinking he lost, of course, more than Louis, and thinking about the family that he was, you know, going against. They're cool now, like him and Leon, which I love that callback as we get later down. Is it in this episode? No, it's in the next one. I'll bring up the shot. But just seeing their relationship get closer over the years of everything that's happened and being that's who Louis went to. Because she didn't have anybody. She don't have Franklin. She already talked to Sissy and it's just like, no, she's just like, let me go to somebody who lost as much, if not more than me.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, why didn't you ask Sissy how she copes with peace? Maybe because Sissy ain't got no peace yet. That might be what it is.
I mean, she talked to Sissy previously in that day, and Sissy pretty much telling her to be accountable, and that's not what she want to do right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those that's not the messenger I want to hear from type thing. Like, so it's not she's not in the game, but you know what I'm saying? But versus how he's in the game.
Right. And I
So
think she
like,
definitely respects Scully a lot.
yeah, considering their history, their beef and everything that went on between them. So yeah, I definitely get that. And also at the house, he's getting a good sleep. Some, rattling in the kitchen. Hopefully it's rats. Maybe it's the kids trying to get some snacks. It ain't neither one.
Bars.
It ain't either one. Ruben in the kitchen with a pistol. Still, I guess his character. I truly didn't understand him. Like everybody just felt super desperate to catch somebody doing something crazy. But everybody going that's popping up in Gustavo's house. Why they don't have, like, I guess they don't have security back then, but like he should have had somebody watching something.
Get a
Like
dog. Something. Because
that's the second time somebody plugged this out. Like went into that man's house and was just like going crazy.
and he got the gun on the table. You're not even gonna have it on your holster? Like one of the
Like
kids might come over here. He was really inconsiderate.
But also and Frank, they meet back up. He want to go ahead and leave now. And this is when we find out he tells them about the DA. The DA got pictures of everybody, well, pictures of him and Louis at the drop. And he was, Franklin pulled a gun out. At this point, I'm kind of worried for also. How you feeling right now?
So not at this point. I was more worried about also when Teddy was about to poison him. So
Okay.
in this scene, I didn't see Franklin doing a shoot first, ask questions later type of energy. He's more like, give me the information that I need. So why are you
Right now.
smiling?
Yeah, because he was like that now, but shit, he got to a point. At some point, he Franklin would just killing people just because. Eventually, you in the way. Shit, let me you just pissing me off.
His character went in the wrong direction.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And we, one person we haven't really talked about too much is Wanda. A lot of growth, a lot of development for her, especially in this season. She's looking at everything. She coming home to guns on the table. She in the projects, seeing everything that's going on in the projects, and she pretty much tell Lee, I'm out of here. Like I'm not gonna survive this. Like it's not. There's nothing here for me. So, she's getting her stuff together. She's speaking with Sissy. And Sissy was, she offered her an apartment and also tell her that she can take care of the shelter if she wants to. But I'm like, if she going to Ghana, how's she gonna do any of that, Sissy? Like she just told us she leaving. Like it wasn't after she said that, it was before. Like like why y'all giving her more duties in America? Like she's trying to go. She's not trying to come to America.
Jason, she's going to work remotely.
She started it. That's where it started at with her. Overseas. Hey. Hey man. Uh, so we catch back up with Louie. She met up with her friend Candy. Candy was in a couple of seasons, just a few episodes, and they're just this is what we kind of humanizing Louis at this point. So they're just talking about, that one time this guy choked you out for $20. It was like, shit, $20 is a lot of money. I'm like, shit, I don't want to ever be that hard pressed. Which that may be a callback because, close to the end, maybe when that $20 Franklin get, just how hard pressed it is for a $20 bill.
Huh.
And maybe
Oh,
I'm just saying it may
shit.
be, but I'm just saying like that's just funny, and I just thought about that right now.
Oh, wow.
But then we talk about that time when we were when they were talking about the time where they got put in the basement with somebody's uncle. And I'm assuming it was alluding to them being sexually harassed in that, but it was multiple situations like that. And she kind of called out the pimp for that, like being that type of person when he was a kid, and now you having the power to do that to other people, and that's what you're doing. So it was just like, man, it was definitely conflicting because I get it. Like I said, that's a lot of unhealed trauma that we're talking about, and them going into it. And she said even within this, the worst part of it all is she keeps forgetting that her husband's dead, that's a tough thing. Like if you're just thinking about all your day and you think you can go back home to somebody and they're not there. How did this scene make you feel?
It was definitely emotional, and it kind of let you know, like, because I don't remember us getting too much of a like a backstory of Louis
Mm-hmm.
outside of the stuff that she was having with Claudia. And so like with her discussing that, and it also kind of like for when she would have just like you said, I can't even like I forgot my husband died. And I'm like that's crazy. And
Tough.
so like dealing with that kind of event to happen, and then your husband dying from that, and ain't nobody got no therapist to go to and talk to or anything like that to understand. And in the back she's planning a funeral. Well, no, she's not, because I think Franklin's pretty much taking care of that. But it was a lot. It was definitely a heavy scene.
It was, but we get interrupted, of course, paging, keep getting pages, and it's Teddy. This was, I feel like I'm not. Do you think Teddy respected her?
At this point, no.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the beginning when they were working together,
Mm-hmm.
but the way she was talking to him, and she's just like, "What white man?" And he's just like, "Why you acting like this?" And he was just like, "This is not a request." I didn't hear him say anything else after that. I just saw her reaction. I'm
But she
like,
she she said more after that. She was like, she said, "We're gonna meet. I need you to meet now, nigga. I'm gonna meet you at 3 o'clock at so and so. Bye." And she just hung up. There was no more phone calls. There was nothing else in that. And they get to the meet. Excuse me. So they
he trying to get Franklin. And
yeah.
so Louis' face is all beat up, all fucked up.
That's not funny, but yeah, it is.
It's not, but it's bruised up. It's She's been through something. Reed, you're not gonna ask what happened to my face? Because she didn't have on shades. She didn't
No.
have on no makeup. She went there, bruises showing, everything. And he just like, "Where Franklin at?" "Hey, to you too, bitch. I'm fine. You see my face is messed up." Like none of that. And he's just like, "Jerome is dead." And I'm like, I just I hated Reed as this series went on, but I really hated him as this season went on because his character needed a bullet.
Yeah, nah, that's for sure. That's for sure. And she pretty much told him, we can cut Franklin from balls to ear. I don't care, but for the next, until I finish this funeral, leave me alone. Don't contact me. Don't say nothing to me. Let me handle my business in peace. We go to the procession. Um, everybody walking in, and unfortunately, you want to say they're looking good, but it's a funeral. Um, how did the funeral hit for you?
Just to see everybody walk in, old characters, people that we've seen at the beginning, and then new ones we were recently introduced to, and just seeing them all together. and especially seeing Wanda and Lee. So you just remember where these characters started, and now you're seeing where they're all ending up. Because I don't remember there being a funeral scene. Oh no, it was their homeboys, but
Fatback.
Fatback's funeral didn't hit like this.
I mean, because they got shot at the funeral, so no, they didn't make it to the.
I mean, before yeah.
They didn't make it in here. They tried.
I thought they got shot at after the funeral. It was before.
We didn't see no funeral. I feel like they shot before. Like that's how. But like I said, that's like and them the people that Franklin teamed up with. Like in the like after that, like they done shot your auntie. You team up with them.
So
I mean,
Fatback never really got a funeral.
somebody buried him at some point, but I mean I don't know if that was before or after, but I feel like they were going in the funeral, not coming out of it.
Oh man, that's fucked up. You know what? In that, I ain't gonna speak on Beverly, R.I.P. whatever, but that was some bitch shit. if it was before, now if it was after,
You said after it's cool, but if you got him before, you didn't let him pay respects. But Scully told them not to do that. So at the end of the day, they weren't supposed to be there no way. Don't disrespect the dead in that manner.
Yeah.
But Buckley shouldn't have been at the funeral. And I'm saying funeral, but he shouldn't have been there. Buckley shouldn't have been there, man.
Why? Him and Jerome worked together, even though Jerome hated him.
Jerome hated him.
I think he was definitely scared of Jerome. And this is where he pretty much lied.
Yeah,
because
he does.
Louis asked him, was like, where were you at? I know he phoned you. Or no, she was just like, didn't Jerome phone you? And he was like, nope. So you lying on my husband's grave to my face?
At the funeral.
He should have. You know what? You were right. He definitely should have got a bullet.
He should have got one. And they're leaving after the funeral, and D kind of pull up on Leon. I'm like, oh man, part 2 at the funeral? Like, come on. But he was just like, y'all got them niggas that did the killing, right? Yeah. Like, that was already handled, bro. Like, what you doing? Like, you don't act like you care now.
Only way they would have fought at the funeral if this was a Tyler Perry production.
Tyler can't write this. Tyler ain't writing this. And Louis and Franklin, we finally have that conversation, that we've been looking for between them. And she kind of asks, what made you come back around? And he was like, I was raised to respect women. And I made promises and I need you to keep that. And then she kind of chuckled, like, man, you the devil, right? And he chuckled too and was like, yeah, I know. I know, but I still need that information. So we already know we in the end game of the story, but that's the end of episode 7, Charnel House.
Man, when he was just like, I know, chills.
Frank Idris, he definitely was. That's an actor. I mean, he was doing some things all over this season that I was just like, yeah. I hope he needs his flowers.
Absolutely.
He needs his flowers. Social media is giving it to him, but hopefully, they see it when it comes award ceremony time, they recognize him as well.
But episode 8, Ballad of the Bear. Ooh. So this opening scene, I thought was so fire.
I agree.
Because it opens up, and we're on Oso.
Mm-hmm. Oso
wait a
POV.
minute. We didn't end with you, so why are we starting with you? And so you see him walking into the house, and you're seeing all the people around that's there for Jerome's repast.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the scene was so cool because it touches so many different things. And so you see Sissy in the kitchen, and it's like a reflection. And like you could tell, like from her facial expression, her mind is ticking. She's at her brother's funeral, his repast. She just buried him. Mm-hmm. And all of this is because of Teddy. And then you also see Oso's walking around, and then I believe you see Louie. She's at the table by herself, and then she just gets up. And how the camera is following Oso, it's like you're panning around, and then you see Leon and Scully. Now, I didn't catch this on my first watch, but I did see somebody tweet it and they were just like, this 15-second clip of Scully and Leon spoke so much volume.
It
And
did.
you see and the thing is, like, they were just the background of that scene. You're following Oso. So you're seeing two lead characters that have such a very problematic past. Leon killed his daughter. And you see the forgiveness. You see the emotions in Leon, and you see Scully forgiving him, and then when they hug, and then it just gets off of them. And I'm sitting like, hold on, Oso, back up. Can you back up? Because that's what I want to see. I want to see that in a scene instead of us following Oso. But I thought that was just amazing. And then the actor that plays Jerome, this was his directorial debut, directing this episode, and he did an amazing job. Like, yeah. So
yeah, I love this. I love the scene as well because you can just hear the people like celebrating Jerome, like just different stuff that he was doing, just all the different stories. And you, like you said, you go to the Leon and the Scully, and it hit. You know that definitely hit because you can see ever since that Leon hasn't been the same person. Like it's been 2 seasons. Leon has been on a different trajectory. He's looking to do better, know better, grow better, just the entire time. But of course, Oso was invited to the repass from Franklin because he said, "Come to the repass. I got something to give to you." And you know that's where basically where Oso is heading to. And he kind of mentions as that's happening, he was like, "Man, everybody just been carrying so much for so long, so it got to be worth it." Also, like at the end of all of this, it has to be. You know, you pretty much go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. Do you think with Franklin saying that it made it to where it wasn't just about the money? It was about all the lives that were lost, all the work that's been put in, all of the weight that everybody is carrying, instead of it just being about the money for him.
I mean, it was everything. And we'll get to it in the next episode. We'll get into it in the next episode because Franklin kind of talk about it, which I felt it. Like regardless of how dark Franklin got, how messed up he was doing things, he kind of told you, and it felt like a relationship almost when he was I can't even say what that is. Is it revealing his emotions or whatever that is, and how he's feeling and why he's feeling the way he feels in that. Like it's just the consideration. It's the consideration of everything that you've done. And how you did it. Like, yeah, it's messed up. And what he had to do it. Like, the man had to kill a whole community, unfortunately. Like, that's how that went. I mean, whether it was him or somebody else, somebody was gonna be doing it, but that's on his, he has to carry it.
Yeah, because he always repeats, I built this. I built all of this. And so he knows the different blocks that went into it. And just all of that being destroyed with the money being taken. It's like, you can't start over. You've lost too much. You've been through too much to start over. And so, like, with him saying that, and it's just coming to me while we're talking, I'm just like, before when I was watching, I was just like, this nigga just trying to get his money so he can get his downtown business. And I'm just like, actually, the money is just like the physical
of the situation.
Right. Like everything else.
This man he didn't have to kill his neighbor. His girlfriend almost killed him. He done lost his father in this situation.
He didn't care about all this.
He didn't, but he did. I mean, at the end of that, that's his father in that. So I mean, I get it. I get where you coming from too. But yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. He done took care of so many different people, including this white man. Like, it's like he held up his end of the deal and he got screwed. He's the only person that got screwed out of the deal.
Yeah. And so he like you were saying, like him and Oso are talking, and he gets Oso the passports and the $1 million. He got 1 million, but he still owe Oso 9. Long as he get his money.
I think they also reneged on that deal and just said, let me just get $1 million.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like, let me get one right now. Damn. So wait, Oso
when was he gonna see him again? It was his whole thing was like, whenever they redid the deal under the bridge right, he was like, man, I just need this. Give me $1 million. I can take it. He said, I ain't got that. That's all I got. Like,
so wait, also went from 10 to 1.
he got something.
He did. But damn, imagine somebody asking you.
Fuck that. He had 3 different agencies after him in the drug game. He better take whatever he can and get out of Dodge.
Oh, so it would have been like, look, I'll take $10 in the passports. Just drop me off in your plane.
Hey man, make some type of move. You know, I thought we were gonna get mail. I thought we were gonna get a mail sighting this season, but of course we didn't. But I like the way they used the flashback because
right.
I love the way they did the flashback. They show her, you know, him pretty much. I think it goes back into what you were saying, and maybe that's what you was actually alluding to when he was just like, you know, he was like, you got to protect those you love. Like that was his whole thing in that, and that's, you know, kind of motivated him to keep going. And you know, like he you know, he talking to Oso, but Oso like, have you told her? And I missed what he was talking about, but it was the whole thing if he know that the police have her on tape, like she's on film by the DA, and they about to bust her soon, but he's holding on to that information until he get what he want. And he learned that from Teddy. Like, if you have the only leverage in that situation, you can't play your hand in that.
With him learning that, he also know why Teddy held that information. That's why you should have burned his face. But we're not there yet.
Also, well, okay, so in this, like, right, because I just have it like we were just talking about Franklin to a certain point. So I'm gonna get this. So, you know, he told Oso, but then he also, at this point, he actually told Veronique, he gave Veronique the plan to do everything that she was supposed to do. You know, he told her, you know, you need to leave the country and you need to liquidate all the assets and take the money. I wonder if he forgot about that.
I didn't even, until you just now said, I'm sitting here like, so this bitch got her entire escape plan from her mama and Franklin.
Everything came from them. He said, regardless, I know you don't want to hear this. I don't know if this plan is going to work, but I need you to leave the country for the kid. I'm gonna find you whatever you at. You know, I'm gonna get to you however I can. In that, if I can, because if something happens, unfortunately, it's just that. But you can at least, you know, liquidate the assets. And that, so yeah, that was that was Franklin's doing.
Man, that's wild. And then, so they have 2 days to get this entire plan together. Everybody always has 2 days or 24 hours. And so Oso is talking to the DEA about the drop. And so the main guy with the DEA, he's just like, one of my agents is going to go with you. And Oso's like, I don't need that hoe to come with me. And they're just like, we don't trust you because you're not asking questions when we're so close to the end of this. And
which is weird.
I mean, the thing is, like, Oso was so nervous. He was off his game. Like, Oso was completely off his game. He was just like in panic mode. But hell, you got that many people in your, like, yeah, I can understand the fear. And so then they go to the drop and the guys are flirting with the agent that's with Oso. And in my mind, I feel like you probably should have had the male agent go just to keep from having those kind of situations happen, because they were just over here trying to flirt with her. And she was just like trying to ignore it or say like comments. And also it's just like, they're asking like, who is she? Also it's like, that's the DEA, we about to get busted. Her reaction during this scene, I'm like, bitch, he sounded like he was joking, but you look like he was serious. I'm like, fix your face. You're undercover. You got to be like, he is playing. Here this bitch go looking scared. I'm like, yeah, she gonna get y'all killed.
Yeah, it wasn't looking too good for my guy. Wasn't looking too good for my guy also. And she, you know, like, you know, she took that information back to her boss. Like, nah, it's something going on. We need to check into it because, like, why would you say that? Like, why would you say that? Like, bro, like, chill out. Like, I'm same exact thing. Like, just allow things because you never know what's going on. They BSing in that situation, regardless of what they're saying. Regardless, man and woman, like if it was a man, I feel like they would have probably been They probably would start shooting if it was a guy.
You think so?
Which is why I do feel like in the next episode, Franklin took Sissy as opposed to taking Leon, because it just the optics look a little bit different when you have certain people with you.
You mean took them where?
So also took the girl to the drop. When Franklin took Teddy to the meet, he had his mama. He didn't have Leon. The optics of it just look a little bit different if you have those people around you.
So the main agent told Oso she would go with him. Oso didn't want her to go.
I mean, I know he didn't. I'm just saying, like, if he would have sent the man, I would have just started shooting, because
Right.
it looks more suspect with the man or with the guy as opposed to a woman, because you're just not thinking. I mean, it's sexist in that situation, but just thinking, oh no, that's his chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's somebody he probably boning, or somebody he dealing with. I'm not thinking too much. Two dudes, a man I've never seen, as opposed to the white man he always with. Yeah, nah, it's something with this.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That's how I thought about it anyway.
Nah, yeah. Teddy proposed to his hoe.
Boo.
Yo, I have yawn in parentheses, so I'm just like, yeah.
And she gave him his ring he got from his mama. Like, yeah, give me this.
I mean, she just there's no point of buying another ring, even though you got $74 million. Right. Why do I need a new ring? I'll just take your.
She checked him though. He got $74 million in shit to show for it. He ain't got a house, he ain't got no clothes, no car, no couch.
She really belittled him a lot, but Teddy seemed like he needed to be belittled. But I kind of wish she would have got a bullet.
She should have.
Right. So now we see Franklin show up to the garage to meet Louie and Scully. And V is in the car as well. So they got to beat up Franklin. And it's funny because Franklin asked Scully, he was like, you want to do the honors? He's like, nah, G. So it was Louie. Look, Louie better than me. I would have had a brick waiting by my foot and hit him in the face. Definitely would have hit him in the face with a brick. I would have made that shit look like we beat your ass. She punched. She was going in on him, but
a little bit. She got so frustrated. She just said,
yeah. She gave that man a busted lip. She put like one.
Yeah, because I would have been, after I got him on the ground, I would have did him the same way Kane did him. Started kicking him out in the stomach.
I would have had Franklin looking like he did when Leon gave him that speech.
Them boys jumped him though at that point. So
that's why you got to have a brick ready.
You would have killed him. Shit, it is what it is to me.
Put his body there anyway.
And then now you're in a situation where you can't even you wouldn't, if you would have did that, you probably would have been in a situation where you couldn't even escape. You never know what the situation may bring. You say you don't care.
Look, I would have just left like me and Jerome would have did a week ago.
Oh yeah.
Just pick up my stuff and leave. Like Scully.
She was kicking it a little bit.
Yeah, she was wilding. But and so then we got also there he's with the DEA, and is this where Oso is in the car and then the DEA agent is just talking about his old agent who got killed?
Annoying.
Also just sitting here like, I got a lot going on. We got a whole job. Like, also is just in straight panic mode. He gets the beat from Teddy. And the cop is just, the DA is just like, something's going on. And I was like, they about to fuck up. They about to do something stupid. Because you need Oso to be at the drop so Franklin don't get fucked up by Teddy. And then Oso is over here paging Teddy. I thought Oso kept putting the wrong number in. I'm like, bro, you've been doing this for like 6 years. Why do you keep putting the wrong number in? And it was just Teddy was delayed by calling him back. He was like, who did you call?
No, there was two. He had to make 2 calls. He had to one send the page to Franklin them.
Right, yeah.
But then he had to dial again to call Teddy. And he had to wait for Teddy to call back. So that's why it felt to look like. But I would have just told him, hey, I gotta make two calls because did he not tell them about the KGB? I'm assuming he never told the DEA about the KGB because I would have told them because he could have told them and he could have been like, hey, we've been made by someone else. So if you want to be the one to make this bust, this is what needs to happen. So now we have these contingency plans. So I need to do this, I need to do that. So, but I understand they wrote it a different way to give Ruben this goddamn Batman story arc or whatever, which he really didn't even do nothing because he didn't even kill everybody. He only killed one person.
But if she did, that bitch had a vest on.
True.
And I didn't see him shoot her in the head.
This is true.
But that's what it was. Because I really thought, I was like, oh, so why do you keep calling the wrong number? Okay. Thank you for
yeah, it was two. He had to make two calls.
But he gets arrested and we are just like, all right, so he's not going to show up like he needs to. Oops. That's unfortunate. And so Franklin gets dropped off by Scully and Louis. He been out there all night. I would have did the worm. I would have did the roll. I would have tried to leave that location.
The worm.
I would have done something. I would have rolled like a roly-poly down the... Why are you just sitting there? But, of course, it's a setup. But Teddy comes like hours later. It's night. And Franklin's just sitting there with a bloody nose. And then we see him get... Teddy injects him in the neck with a substance. So what did you think, or where did you think this scene was going to go after we saw this?
Man, I mean, you kind of... So at this point, you really don't know what's going to happen. So like them getting rid of Franklin in this episode, knowing we got two more, it would have definitely been interesting in seeing how they write the rest of it to see that scene. But then, like I said, we have the whole thing. I don't know how Ruben was able to wreck the car, not kill them, have everybody knocked out, only for Oso to still be alive, not knocked out. He just like, oh, what happened?
I can explain everything. Hear me out. Nobody died because they had their seatbelts on, driving safe. They were knocked out. I guess if you're in the middle seat, you don't get knocked out too much. But if you're on the left or the right, you get hit by the window. Concussion. And sis, she's a new agent, so she ain't been through as much, so she gonna wake up first. And plus, genetics.
She didn't get into a wreck though, Jay. She was in a completely different car. She stopped because
that's right.
She stopped because they stopped.
So, would you have kept driving?
I would have. And they said, look, the people that drive the money trucks, they tell them if your person get caught, you keep going. I would have kept moving.
Would you have driven like far and gotten the money out the truck and then just left the country?
Was it? I thought it wasn't it just drugs? I don't think they had no money. They were for the stuff. I think they just had coke from the Colombians that they were.
Okay.
Because they already gave the money to them to buy the drugs.
Well, we are in our Coke Chronicles, so would you have sold the cocaine?
Hell no! I'm not putting my life on the line. Hell, what you doing?
Nothing.
If you was her,
hey, might have tried to call a connect.
See for the risk your job.
Man, fuck that job. You see how much coke was in that truck? Yo, you think they make money?
Hey man. Oh man, why Franklin didn't think about that? After all that, he could have went back, got the coke and sold it.
Because Franklin was not sleeping. Franklin was not eating. Franklin was he was running on fumes and hatred and revenge.
But this is true. This is true. He let him, but some kind of way, Ruben and Oso, they make it through this and they make it to the drop. They make it to the drop spot. And Teddy like, man, where you been at? And then you see Ruben pop in. Ruben pops in and he tells him to go ahead and arrest Teddy, lock him to the forklift. And he said, take his gun from him. And he tells Oso, hey, I got one in my ankle. Grab it. He like, you think I'm stupid or something? Like, grab it. How did Ruben not shoot Oso?
Yeah, I don't know why he would have needed Oso. if he had Teddy locked up. I would probably
The drugs was there. Teddy was there.
I would have definitely shot Oso in the back.
I mean Franklin, and that's a 2-for-1. You got Franklin and you got Teddy. Greedy.
Damn. Ruben fumbled for real. Stupid.
A major fight. And he let Oso just beat his ass. Just straight old school whoop his ass wrestling style.
He's a wrestler. Like, do you think
true.
Ruben can take Oso? Hell no. I'm throwing money on Oso quick.
Yeah.
But also in the scene, we see Teddy got Franklin in a noose.
Yeah, of course, white man.
I'm sitting here like, so wait, you just gonna put his body in acid? Why you got him on a noose? Like, why didn't you just tie him up to a chair?
Why you didn't shoot him in the head when he was outside?
Because he wants to torture him. What Franklin should have did to his daddy and his son and baby mama. But like, I'm just, yeah. So, but I do
a lot of negligence, a lot of negligence on these people's parts.
Right, and I definitely want to mention prior to this scene, we see V. She's at home and she has a stomach pain. So I thought this was going to get a callback later. I don't believe that it did, and it was just like
I think it did.
Really? Okay.
I don't. Yeah, nah. I don't think she did. I don't think she did. I think she just, some peace was trying to be made. I guess that's just my thought process. I don't know.
Mine as well, because I was just like, there was a reason for this, and I don't think it was by accident. But we'll definitely get there.
Yeah. But Franklin also, of course, he sides with Moreno, and he cuts him down after being choked out, almost dying on the rope, and we see Franklin finally a smile. We finally see a smile on Franklin's face. The entire season, we've been waiting for this. We knew it had to play out. That he was the Franklin Reed situation was going to come to a head, and we see the way it goes. And I think that was the end of that episode. Unless you had something in there that you wanted to touch on.
It was just Franklin looking at the camera, and he was just like, and then it goes black.
I win, bitch.
Right. And so I think that was the third like POV shot, or not POV, but third like portrait shot we got of one of our main characters, because we got one of Jerome in our part 1 at the beginning when Louis was telling him that Franklin pulled a gun out on her, and then we got one of Louis when she was getting ready for Jerome's funeral, and we see all the bruises and all of the cuts and stuff on her face, and now we see one of Franklin. And so I was just like, those stood out to me as I was watching this season. I was just like, damn. And each character had emotions fueled through them. I don't remember none of Teddy, but Teddy damn sure didn't need one.
Nah, he didn't. He didn't.
But that was the only thing from that. So episode 9, Sacrifice. Whew. If I would have known.
If you would have known,
was gonna be this large.
Hey man, sacrifices they gotta be large. They have to be huge. They have to hit. I think I'll take this one up since you did the previous one, man. So you got Louis. You start off with Louis. She packing up. She finna go. I don't know if she's finna get on a run. I don't know what she's doing. She's packing up. She get a page. It's 911. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, they about to raid you. You need to run. And you see Louis on the run. She leave all the people. She gave them no heads up. And she's out of here.
She's supposed to run.
Run, bitch. She should have taught something.
I ain't gonna lie. I would have hung up and ran to her, like, all right. They ain't got them at no drug deal. So they're not going to be in jail as long as Louis. So she had to get up out of there. But this scene, I hate that I laughed. But did it remind you of Set It Off?
It did. It did.
I tweeted, I was like, Louis is on her Scony swag right now from Set It Off. In that white jog suit. Like, she was just running. Dog over here about to bite her. She just ducking and dodging and everything. I said, run, Louis, run. But I was just like, wow. But it definitely channeled in Set It Off.
Yeah, definitely big set it off vibes. I'm not mad at that. She only called the one person that she could call. It was Buckley. Reached out to Buckley.
Who answers that
They
call?
try. He answers this one, so he know they on the run. He probably could have gave it that intel as well, but then again, he's not really a cop no more, so I don't know who he working for, how he working for, but whatever. But she said, I got a place out in Oha. You can take me out there. I got some money stashed out there. It's about like $1 million. And he was like, dude, I need half. I'm like, at that point, you like, yeah, I see the play now. Cause like it's just like, bro, what you want? Like, I hired you to be my guy, but like, why are you pressing me in that manner if you really was my guy? Type thing.
So if you was Buckley, you wouldn't have wanted half?
I would have tried to see what kind of deal we could have worked out. Like in that situation, I would have seen, but I feel like he's so far gone off drugs at this point. He didn't care. He was just like, yeah, I need that to feed my habit.
I mean, look, because hypothetically he lost his job and the DEA might be after him, so his life is kind of over too. That man left his family so fast. Now I think about it, like he did have kids, but
This is true. This is true.
I mean, him asking for half, I was just sitting here like, why would you tell him how much you have anyway? I would have been like, I got a $500,000. That's what I would have said. Or hell no, I got $20. You can have 10. But I thought that was a fumble on her part to tell him how much she had. But she was also desperate. She didn't really get time to breathe because she just had to leave her house. So
This is true. This is true. Let me get this down here. We go back. We catch back up with Franklin. Franklin got Ruby and Teddy both captured, locked up in the room. He trying to get everything he needs. He tells Teddy, we need to open up in the morning. We're gonna call the bank, and you're gonna get my money back in my account. I'm gonna blow your head all against the wall. And he said, he telling him about you need to be sensible about this. And he kind of tells him sensible. Like, do you know what I have to like at this point? How can things be sensible? I had to kill your father. I done went to the KGB. I done lied. I done stole. I done killed. Like we like it ain't none of that sensible. We are beyond that at this point. How you feeling right now? Listening to this conversation between Teddy and Franklin.
I don't understand how Teddy does not think that Franklin is unstable. You if you take $74 million from anybody, especially back then, you are taking everything that they have. They're not just going to be like, okay, it's gone. That's the kind of behavior that you should expect, especially from somebody who has he in a drug game, history of violence, bodies have been dropped. Franklin does not know nice, cool kid. Like, he'll kill you. So I don't understand why that didn't process it, Teddy, but also his ego. He thought he was invincible. He thought he could say stuff like, get me out of here and I will fix this for you. He always made it seem like, you do this right now and I'm going to fix it. Then we can go ahead and leave. Because he said that when Frank was on the phone with him before he killed his father. He was like, put my dad on the phone and I'll talk him out of that and I will get you out of this before you take it too far. He kept saying that to Franklin and I'm just like, do you not see where you at? Like, Teddy, just think about this for a second.
You don't have leverage in this situation no more, brother.
You don't. But that's $73 million. So
that's it. But I feel like it's one of them. It's like a situation where like a kind of a crazy equivalency or comparison, but the man that is or a person that has constantly cheated, lied, abused a situation, a relationship. Now, when the other person is in control of the situation, you pretty much at their mercy. So it's just like you don't really have a say in that, bro. Nobody want to hear what you saying, my nigga. Nothing that you say matters anymore. I gave you ample opportunity to do the right thing by me. You haven't. So now let me do the right thing by me, my way in this. So man, fuck Teddy, bro.
Nah, it's real because I'm sitting here like, well, if he lets you go, he's not getting his money. If he kills you, he's not getting his money. But he'll feel better that he killed you though. So which one you betting your money on? Like you're still gonna die. So
Man, he got, then he brings Lee and
Sissy.
and Sissy, but he also brings what's called in there too. B. He brings them in there. Are you bringing your family, your child? Well, you're a woman, so you can't do that. But like, does this seem like a logical situation? Like Lee, I understand, but I would have had like hitters in there. You know what I mean? Like, I would have had probably some people from the projects with Lee on
No,
that.
that definitely makes sense because it's just like, all right, your family is here and you got the KGB and the CIA in the same room. So even Nino Brown know not to do that. And
Like,
so I would say, nah, Franklin wild for that. But also Leon is the one that's got that muscle. Franklin muscle retired in episode 1 or 2. And so he doesn't really have anybody that he can use as that muscle. So it's just his family. And with his mother coming in, she's always been the one to be around. He's updating her, which if he would have been paying attention, he would see, maybe let me not let Sissy know where we at. But I definitely don't think V should have been there, like at all. But she also brought a very useful tool.
yeah. Whenever we get into that, but prior to that, Sissy, she talks to Ruben, kind of tells him how he betrayed her trust, manipulated the pain that she was going through, and also her son. And this is why I kind of told you in the previous episode why I wouldn't have talked to Ruben. He said that when he was doing a recorder, he had a second recorder, and all the information he leaked or he gave to the KGP people, pretty much saying, pretty much implicating Franklin in everything he told Cece he wouldn't do for the most part.
Men be lying. Men be lying.
And then she was speaking with Leon on how he felt about the situation. And he was just saying, so how do you feel about it and what do you think you should do? How would, if you were Sissy, how are you handling this situation?
Well, I'm definitely not giving my son to Ruben because he's about to be gone. Or excuse me, giving Teddy to Ruben. But then actually no, because Ruben told her like, if you give us Teddy, that the tapes, everything are gone, to where Franklin won't be in any kind of danger. And because she only had, I think, 24 hours to let him go, because if he hasn't been heard from in 24 hours, his people are going to release the tapes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's got to the point to where she's, of course, not even caring about that money. She's caring about the safety of her son. And plus, it'll get Teddy off the street, which is what she wants anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think her choice was very difficult. But then it's just like, well, if we can get our money back, we can leave the country and Ruben can drop whatever he needs to drop. We're going to be gone anyway. And we can just kill him. But it also, you got to get your money in 24 hours. So I would have tried to play both sides since I had a full day to see where it would lead. But Sissy was also on the thought of revenge. Those kind of logical decisions weren't even crossing her mind because she was definitely thinking about the safety, which, I mean, anybody in that situation, I definitely think you would. But us talking about it, if we was to jump in the screen like, Sissy, wait, I got an idea. Hear me out. I'm watching the show and let's see if we can change your ending. So, but I mean, yeah, it's tough. And then with her and Leon being there talking about it, it allowed Leon to have that that insider in her mind for her to realize why she did what she did later on.
This is true. I like that. I like that within that. I don't think I caught that why he caught the why in that, but after she speaks to Ruben, she goes to speak to Teddy. He kind of, at this point, he is definitely manipulating the situation because he knows how she feels, how she's thinking in that situation. And of course, she brings up the dying question we've been asking for 2 seasons.
Nobody's been asking that.
I have. Is he dead or is he not? Where is Alton? Bring me Alton back. He pretty much said Alton not dead. No, before that. I like how he played it pretty well though. In that situation, he was like, I can tell you where Alton is. Or don't you want to know what happened to Alton? And she was like, I wanted to, but at this point, your death is the only thing that I'm knowing that you're going to die here is what brings me comfort in this situation. And he kind of says like, Alton isn't dead. He's in a Puerto Rican jail. We can go and get him. You don't have to do this. Like it's not worth it. And that plays on her.
It does.
It kind of motivates her. How did would that have played on you in that?
No. I'm not trusting nothing this man is saying because anybody in that situation in that chair is going to say whatever they need to say to get out of it. Mm-hmm. And Teddy did an amazing job because every time he lied or bullshit, it was such with the straightest face and it was so natural. Those are the kind of people you got to be very cautious of. And for the simple fact, before he brought up Alton, he was sitting here when she was asking him, do you not feel guilty of all the communities you destroyed? And he was just like, if a crackhead want to fuck up and get high, that's on them. That has nothing to do with me. And he was just saying all of this stuff, not taking any accountability for his hand in this entire situation. Poison a community just so you can help fund a war you shouldn't have been funding in the first place. And then we see, of course, when did the whole war on drugs? That was in the 90s. So that hasn't even came up yet. But we see the result of everything happening at this time, what it leads to in 5 to 7 years. And so Teddy's just like, that's on them. If they get addicted to that, that's on them. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I didn't turn it to crack rock, which, okay, you didn't. But Jason, if you bring tequila to the party and I got margarita mix, and I say I get fucked up, but you be like, I didn't bring the margarita here. Nigga, you brought the tequila, which is what is needed for the good margarita. Do you see where I'm going with this?
He definitely played a hand in it, regardless of if you sold it, you didn't make a person. And I thought that was gonna be a callback as well. I thought, I definitely thought they was gonna put Franklin in the van and make him snort a whole bunch of crack like his brother.
What?
When he said I didn't sit nobody down and make him smoke crack.
Oh, you talking about Teddy?
Yeah, I thought at the end they were gonna do that to Franklin, like put him in a room and make him just do a whole bunch of coke or crack.
Whoa, you went down a dark road.
Shit, is it any darker than what we got?
A little bit. But
it's coke, nigga.
Yeah, I would have went to sleep feeling really strange. I'd have been like, why they do him like that?
I'm just saying that's what I thought. I thought, that's what they were gonna do. But we at least get one happy ending in this episode. Franklin, he gives the money to Ted, not Teddy, he gives the money to Oso, and he delivers his promise to Oso, as he said. He delivers to Oso to somewhere. We don't know where he took Oso, but we know it's out the country. Based on him still having this plane, which I don't. How can he afford to still carry this plane or put it wherever he? It is what it is. Plot armor on the plane, maybe. I don't.
Maybe it's paid off.
That's a good possibility, but property taxes are still a thing. We see that at some point, so I don't know about that.
He paid that before his $74 million got snatched, so he's good for another 7 months.
This is true, and I love this. I love this send off for Oso. I definitely kind of teared up when he told him. He was like, I'm done wrestling. And he was like, but what about a new character? He said, yeah, maybe I call it the Saint. And it was just real cool how he did that. Because that was like one of his biggest fans. Like, just imagine if you was growing up and Stone Cold was like, we was called Stone. You know what? We'll be quiet.
You tried it.
It was The Rock.
Imagine me, it was The Rock. And it's funny because Rock was my nickname as a kid. But I just thought The Rock was fine.
Of course you did.
I used to love wrestling. But
what did you think about Oso being sent off in this episode?
I was happy for him because I definitely, like I said in our last episode, I thought Oso was about to be dead. And Oso even asked Franklin again, he was like, remember my promise. Make sure you kill Teddy. And then Franklin was like, I'm going to do it. He didn't keep that promise, but the universe.
The universe works in mysterious ways. It took care of it.
He also was talking to the wrong saint.
Oh, he was a sinner, not a saint.
All right.
That don't make sense. A sinner, not, oh, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So we gonna catch back up with with Louie and Buckley. We can end this conversation. But Louie and Buckley, they make it. They almost make it to a destination, and he said he got to go to the restaurant. I thought he was making a plot to escape or make a plot because he felt something fishy. This nigga just went to go smoke a pipe. Like, is it that bad? Which I know
curious.
It is.
I'm like, Buckley, she's in your car. You can't smoke your pipe in your car? But I was like, all right. And then that was when Louie found his pager, or she found his gun.
She found the gun in the car.
And then she pretty much confronted him like, Jerome did page you. And Buckley was just like, I ain't see it. You ain't see it, or you was on that pipe? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I see it in your hand. It's right there. You didn't just start. Just tell me the truth. But I thought she was gonna shoot him. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would have gone ahead and put a bullet in him. But
you would have had to. You would have had to, because Buckley in that situation, I don't know how much different Buckley would have made in the outcome of helping Jerome, but him not coming to that answer when they reached out to him, that's definitely fucked up.
Yeah.
Given that they took a chance on him after everything that he did, and even though he shot Kane illegally and lost his job behind that, they took him in. So yeah, he kind of owed them, I felt.
I mean, they asked him to shoot Kane.
You're right. So I'm bugging.
I'm like, he didn't just do it because they was like, yo, go shoot Kane.
He got paid for it. It wasn't like he didn't.
And he lost his job. So I'm not going to say either one of them owed the other, but I don't know. It didn't seem like their relationship was that close when they were talking. Because for him to be the first person that Louie calls, it just seemed like they always talk down to him. Like, you bitch nigga, get off that pipe. And he'd be like, all right. What kind of friends are they?
I feel like Jerome did that at season 6. Jerome, that's just what he even when he's saying Frank, bitch nigga,
with tears in his eyes. I'm like, man. But Louie takes his car and then she just leaves him face in the dirt.
Yeah, should have shot him in the back of the head.
You wrong saint. But do you think when she drove off, he got another hit in his pipe?
For sure, because he's stressed now. He's super stressed. He done lost his car, but she told him she didn't want to kill him so his kid wouldn't see that. So, she gave him mercy, but he should have died.
He can't even call an Uber.
They didn't have Ubers then, but I get you.
It's going to take him so long to get home. I be thinking about stuff like that.
Nah, fuck that nigga, man. He need to walk that pipe off of him. But Freddie comes back to Teddy. He catch back up with Franklin and Teddy, ask for some water. But then Teddy is doing his CIA thing. So it took you about 2 hours. He's calculating what he think Gustavo is. We know, like, bro, you're not making out this room. At this point, because you said that, we know you're not making out the room. But I also feel like he did that on purpose. It's like, at the end of the day, like, I can't be captured. I feel like they told him that if you get captured, you're on your own. So we couldn't. So at that point, it was just like he gotta get put out of here. What you laughing at?
Oh, my bad. So I'm dog sitting this weekend, right? So Storm just started walking towards me. I forgot she was over there. She scared the shit out of me because I just saw something in my peripheral, and I felt like you last week when you were jumping from that lightning.
Man, it just happened again. I'm like, man, what's going on? Heck no.
I'm gonna look wild when I play it back.
And he said, why would I give up? Teddy was like, why would I give up my only leverage in this situation? He said, what if you was in my position? Like I was in your position. When you T-bone my car, you were manipulating me just like you were manipulating my mom with that Alton bullshit. That was my Franklin Saint voice.
You did great.
And then Franklin, he goes to his game of Russian roulette. How you feeling now?
I was like, yo, Franklin need to go to the pink and throw some dollars at Russian roulette. Hey, you like that? You like that? But yeah, Teddy still is not taking this situation serious. And he's just like, those are all blanks. And Franklin was like, nah, bitch, that's not what this is. And
you thought it was a game.
You thought it was a game. But then so this scene, it kind of pissed me off because that's when Sissy came in and was like, Franklin, that's enough. Is the money out there? No, then it's not enough. Let me finish this. And so like that was when he came out and was talking to Sissy and Leon. So if you were in Leon's shoes in that situation, because Leon pretty much sided with Sissy, was just like, it's not worth it. It's not worth doing all of this. I know you want it, but it's not worth it. Like if you were Leon in that situation, like what would you have been telling Franklin?
That's a tough one, man. Just given everything, but there's no guarantee either way in that situation. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, Leon, he went down that path, like he said, he had to literally pull himself out of that after he killed that little girl. So given Lee's circumstances, where he's come from, the things that he's done, I probably would have took Lee's advice in that moment. But $73 million, we got to throw that back out there. Like you lost everything. Literally, you lost everything. And I believe this was the episode where V told them they bounced their first. Yes, V told them they bounced their first check for the property that he had been building to get. So it's definitely gonna hit. It kind of remind me of Ghost when he was trying to build that King's Child project after his daughter died, and like everything just went against what he was trying to do toward it. So it's just like, as soon as I'm out the game, I'm done with it. Everything pulls me back into it. It's just that's the game. That's the trap. Unfortunately, that's where that comes from. So it's hard for me to be that person. I know a lot of Franklins. Like, I've seen that. So I've seen that person have an empire lose it. I've seen it 10 times over, being the child of that. Like, so I know how that affects different things from, you have the outside, you have the kid that get affected, all the different things. So I don't know I probably would have took Frank. I probably would have listened to Leon, not my mom, but I would definitely listen to Leon. Probably.
So you would have just gave, I just hit my lip. So you would have just gave Teddy to the KGB?
Now that's a tough one there. I don't know how I would have handled that, because that's where they have me. KGB got me. So that's who I probably
the thing. Would. So basically it's you trusting the KGB and trusting them to not leak that tape of you telling them everything that you did if you give them Teddy, to where they'll get rid of that tape and you can just go about your business. But the thing is, you won't get your money.
Man, that's a tough one. I probably put a bullet in both of their heads and gone about my life, because that would have to been the reason. That would just have to be the end of it.
But if Ruben is not heard from in 24 hours, the tape gets released anyway.
Shit, Shit, the Ruben situation seemed more like that reporter in like season 4 or whatnot.
Yeah.
That's what that seemed like. It's like they were just gonna leak some information. There's no real no intent. I mean, he had the video, the video recorder, but whatever.
Yeah. I think it was definitely a difficult situation to be in. But then at that time, like, it was funny because Franklin was just like, let me be very clear. I'll never give up. Never. And so this is his ego. This is his pride. This is like his motivation. He don't care about nothing else around him. He's like, I need to go get my money. And so then we see this is when V arrives and she got that corn oil. So when you see her come in, because this is the first time we see her after we saw her in that like maybe 30-second clip when she had
the hospital.
No, when she had that pain, she was at home and she had that pain in her stomach. And so then that's when she introduced herself to Teddy. Sis, he's the CIA. He already know who you are, but it's your first time seeing him face to face. And she just tells a story. And I think a lot of the characters this season told side stories about themselves, and not even the main characters, but like the outside characters, because we saw it with Kane as well. And now we're seeing it with V, where she's talking about a story of her mother, why her mother never cooks. Because she saw like a kitchen fire and the grease, what you see what hot grease does to skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, you think Teddy was in the kitchen with Big Mama? No.
No.
So Teddy don't know what it do. But
Teddy is strong. He's a strong man. Because I would have definitely been like, hey, you need what? Yeah, let's go ahead and get that. You ain't gotta do none of that. I don't need to see none of this.
I wouldn't have started on his chest. I would have started on his legs. I would have made my way up from his feet to his head.
Ooh, you really let me not beef with you ever, because that's kind of crazy. Like, what you?
the more you torture, I'm like, nah. 73. Look, we keep changing the amount. It's between 73 to 74. But it's not 75. So
he said, yeah.
So I'm just
the
like,
legs, the feet. Start with the feet.
I would have started there first, and I would have poured some on him in 10-minute increments. I am not waiting all day to get this information from you. And it's Monday, so it's a business day. That means the banks are open. And you got my money 2 months ago, my nigga. Nah, I'm fucking you up. Because his daddy should have got oil on him too. But he ain't had no patience. So I get that. But Teddy? Yeah. And I'm
said the dad, the mama, the kid, all of them should have got the oil.
75. Excuse me. Look at me fucking up there. $74 million.
Yeah, nah, he would have definitely been like the nearest brother.
And your
like
business is bouncing checks? I can't pay my bills because you took my money.
I would have treated him like the nearest brother. Definitely at the end of it would have been on top of his head, all the grease.
I'm sitting here like, Franklin, I don't think you were desperate enough, my brother, because you didn't get creative with your torturing skills at all.
Yeah, but the dialogue that him and Teddy have at the end of the episode, it was touching. It definitely hit, because you can feel the pain in that situation. It almost like a bromance, that they had. Teddy, he was like, so you telling me my little measly 70 million mattered in a situation where the Pentagon spends 250 billion a year in defense? Man, don't lie to me like that, bro. Like don't just sit in my face because you're trying to save yourself to make it look one way versus another.
Franklin thought it was a bromance. Teddy knew you just a nigga that worked for me. Exactly. And that's all it was. And so with Teddy over here, just like, it's not your money. And when he screamed it, he was like, it's not your money. It's my cocaine. It's my operation. And then that's when Franklin was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Because Franklin even told Teddy, he was just like, I thought you were a friend. I thought you were somebody I was going to always know. We can hang out. And I'm sitting here like, nigga, is this your first job? Are you cool with your manager at your first job too? Y'all hang out? Y'all high five, go to bars and shit?
Yeah.
And it was just, it's very unfortunate Because if Franklin would have had the mindset of treating Teddy like a business associate and not like a friend, a lot of this could have been avoidable. All his money would not have been in the same fucking place.
Man. But things like this, and that goes back to the writing of this show. Like they did it so well. So like Franklin got hit, his pockets were hit first when Peaches dipped out. So that was the first, like, so his liquid money, like the money he could just run away with, was already gone. Which, that was, I don't know why he didn't have multiple spots like that, but whatever. It is what it is. But then he gets hit, his actual assets, the stuff that he had, like all that is hit because that's the money that Teddy took. So now he really literally having to work out the mud again. This is like, bro, I'm not gonna do this again. Like that was $80 million he lost.
We keep increasing it.
No, I'm saying Teddy took 74, Peaches took 5.
If you want to add that, I mean, somebody took a meal.
Like everything, like this man literally lost. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. I told you I would have died when I first found out. Like it wouldn't even been no season 6. I would have been like, I know I didn't rob my auntie because I died in the house. Like what happened? He had a stroke. Off real. Like it was nothing.
Yeah, and I thought it was. Oh, go ahead.
And I was gonna say the funniest thing. He said, "Nigga, you could have left me $5 million," and I'm just like, "Why you take all of it? Like, thank you for your service or something. Like, come on."
And Teddy was just like, "I wanted to hurt you so bad. Like that's fucked up. Like that's crazy."
He said, "Why?" That's why I go back to the romance. He was like, "Cause you left me."
I would have smacked Teddy across the face. Like that's so crazy, and that's super controlling.
So retroactively speaking, it would have been dope if he would have beat on him like Louis did him, but that would have been stupid. That would have been too a bit funny in the episode. You wanted to keep it and keep the intensity up because it was up.
It was. Don't put hands on him. Yeah, nah. I'd have been like, "What your fist gonna do that damn corn oil ain't doing?" But it was just because you see Teddy's emotions as well, and how he felt betrayed. And it's like we talked about in our last episode. Like Franklin thought he could just walk away, and Teddy felt super betrayed. And you remember when Franklin called Teddy when he was after Jerome and Louis' wedding, he was still high off LSD, and he just went crazy on Teddy's voicemail. And I think that was another reason that made Teddy want to take that money. And so he just felt betrayed. And I'm just thinking to myself, as much power as he has, somebody's level of like, this is how far I go when somebody betrays me. I know he had family members and friends die, and I'm taking everything that he worked for away from him. And I also feel like he didn't really respect Franklin, because if you thought he was just going to let that shit slide and you was going to walk around with your hoe, like, let's go get ice cream. Like, somebody doing something like that and you not thinking there's going to be repercussions, but also we keep talking about Teddy's ego, Teddy thinking he's invincible and nobody can touch him. So.
Yeah, that pride comes before the fall. I do what they say.
I don't know, but that's a bar.
And then frankly, they kind of settle up. We're gonna split the money, and Sissy was not having it.
Are you splitting it? Are you taking that offer? Are you like, Teddy probably heard, oh shit, $5 million would have been good. All right, let me tell him we're gonna split half. Like, would you have agreed to that? You would have. Damn.
I would have. I would have sold my soul. I'm sorry. I would have sold it
for 37.5
in 1980. In the 80s, hell yeah. That's some.
Hey man, you go back in time, be like, let me go ahead and start YouTube, Apple.
That's some bread. That would have been a nice. I mean, you have nothing right now, Jazz. You're sitting on literally nothing. Why wouldn't you take 37?
Because the person who has it is not being tortured enough So I'm gonna torture him some more because I'm about to get all of it.
I would have gotten. I would have had, but you would have. He would have had to die too, though. It wouldn't have been a situation of him not dying. He would have had to die in that situation.
I would have continued torturing Teddy. That's where I would have been at, and I would have waited till Top Notch found his hoe and bring her over here and torture her in front of him. Franklin didn't watch enough horror movies at all, cause
no. So they, they having this conversation, and V was like, "Well," he said, "You need to shut up. I'm talking to my son." And I was like, "Well."
I got a question for you. So when Franklin came out, because he got the account numbers from Teddy, and you see Sissy and V facing each other as if they're having a conversation. Do you think they were all planning this at that moment when he was in there talking to
planning what?
What everything that happened? Do you think Leon and V knew what Sissy was gonna do, that she was gonna shoot Teddy?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it was I think it was all shocking, surprising, because I don't think they knew that what the outcome's going to be, because he called her, and like I don't think she would have been able to fake it that well when she talked to V the next episode. So I don't think so. And then Leon was just like, he went to the jail to go see her. He was like, he questioned Franklin. He was like, do you think you even know why she did that? Like why she took that sacrifice? I don't think so.
Okay, that's what
you
made
think
me
so?
think. Not V too much, but then like their positioning when Franklin came out and saw them seems like they were having a conversation and then they stopped it. But then when I looked at when Sissy told V to shut up, I'd be like, well, maybe they didn't just have a conversation trying to plot.
No, I don't think it was a plot. They may have just been talking and just like shit. Everything stopped because he walked into the room. But they try to go to the meet. They make it to the meet. Franklin is lining everything up. We get Teddy, as you see in your background, he's getting on the phone. He's making the calls. He got the account number. Put him on a brief hold. And Sissy took the opportunity to figure out, where Alton is. Hey, where's Alton? He was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, Alton, I shot him twice and dumped his fucking body. Get the fuck out of my face, bitch.
He should have said bitch, but he did not say bitch. So if you were Alton and you in heaven looking down at this situation.
And looking down.
I don't want to say he's looking up, but if you looking down, wouldn't you be like, damn, that's a ride or die for real?
That's my baby.
Look, you tell the other angels, y'all come look. She's still asking about me.
Hey, she'd be like, God damn, what'd you say? He'd be like, hey, don't use my name in it. Don't use my name in it. I told you it was coming though. I told she gonna get it. She gonna end this story. She gonna end this story for us. Man, and she does the sacrificial play. Shot Teddy 2 times, ended his life before he can get that money to Franklin. And that's the end. And she tells Franklin, well, before that, she does tell Franklin, if this is the move that he's gonna make, that's her last time speaking to him, and she stuck to that. That was her boundary. She stuck to that boundary. She told him goodbye. And that was the end. So do you agree with this play of Sissy, Jazz?
So I understand why she did it, and with all the emotions and everything that was going on. If I had a gun on me, probably would have loaded him up too. But I would have also ran away. I'm not gonna just wait there and just take you gonna go find me if I do something like that. Get some police to raid my crib or something. I'm not just gonna give up. But everybody was just like 30 more seconds, 30 more seconds. And I'm sitting here like, I feel like Franklin definitely, there was no way Franklin was getting that money. Like
I don't think so.
Stories like this do not end with the person getting the money. Like, there's not happy endings to this.
I don't even know how he would have been able to get the money back and then put it into new accounts. Like, that would have been that's a whole process. Like, and it's in the 80s. Like, it's not like online banking. Like, well, how was they gonna do all this just from a payphone? From a payphone.
Yeah, when I saw this, I was just like, he's not getting that money. I was just like, either Teddy's gonna set him up or something. I was just like, no, I didn't. So I get why she did it. I understand. Do I agree? Fuck it.
Because I don't know. It would have been. I wouldn't have, but I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have taken my mom to that situation. No way.
But she was just like, Leon and my grandchild don't need to be there. She knew what she was doing.
She had been playing it since episode 1 of this season.
And if anybody looked at her for 5 minutes, they'd be like, Sissy, you planning on killing Teddy?
You can see the anger in her face.
You could. But then also in this scene, as soon as Teddy get loaded up with those bullets, his associate's like, shit. And he go to his car. Like,
this motherfucker, man.
He leaves.
These black folks.
But see, the thing is, Teddy was always somebody that was like, you're if you out of here, you out of here. I can't think of the term in my head.
Expendable.
There it is. He's expendable the whole time, which is why we see what we see in the next episode. But
pop it off.
I'm a roll with Sissy. She wasn't wrong.
Yeah, nah, Sissy was wrong as hell. I don't give a fuck. Sissy, he should have slapped it. I would have slapped, man. Look, Lord forgive me. I would have went upside my head a little bit. Like what? Like they would have had. Yeah,
your handprint would have been her fro.
I would have gave her a ghost mush. You motherfucker.
Not the forehead.
That would have been because that would have been the last time I seen her. She was going to jail.
He definitely mentioned that.
But episode 10, man, the struggle.
Yes.
This was not only a struggle for Franklin, but it was a struggle for me to get through this as well.
Okay, so let me go ahead and take this. I'm a drive now. I'm a drive the struggle, but we're not gonna struggle in this episode. I'm gonna try to see if we can stay on track with this. But we see as it opened up, Franklin goes into a bar, and so he asks the person at the bar, "It's just like, where's your phone?" So he immediately calls V. He is obviously emotional, upset, and oh my goodness, like this shot right here, because we're so close up and we see him talking to V and telling V what happened. He was like, he's dead. He's dead. She's like, what? Huh? He was like, Mama killed him. Mama shot him. I don't know why. We were right there. And so and then he was just basically having the emotions of not getting his money, but also knowing he's never going to see his mother again. Because when she mentioned it in the last episode, frankly, you never see me again. Are you cool with that? He was like, yeah. Like, it's whatever. But then we're seeing his reaction of like,
she just talking shit.
Right. Like, nah, nigga, you never gonna see her again. And he just like, he doesn't understand why. And so his performance in this season, like you said, when we opened up this episode, was amazing. And so just seeing everything around Franklin, him losing all of that, I would say it was, for me, it was Freddie's death overshadowed that for me, because I was celebrating Teddy's death. I was celebrating his death, and I didn't get to really try to understand Franklin's emotions during this scene. It was like when Joffrey died in Thrones. Yes, you piece of shit, when Teddy died. But we see Franklin is at the bar. Franklin doesn't drink.
Mm-mm.
And so the bartender was like, you good? And he's just sitting there thinking about everything. And so when you saw the bartender was like, the first was on me, and knowing that Franklin doesn't drink, did you think it was going to escalate to where it went when he took that
I
first
didn't,
shot?
because he didn't take it. Like when you look at it, like because he just sat there with it like for a long time, and it goes back to it. I feel like he may have tasted it, but it didn't move. And I think they would have probably conveyed it a little bit differently if he was drinking it. Like they would have had like glasses around. So he didn't take it, but he definitely was contemplating doing it, which we know he didn't want to because his dad was a drunk. So that was his whole thing of why he strayed off of the drink. He didn't do drugs either though. So he was just he was just clean in that. So yeah, just given that, situation, there was no way I could have wrote what they wrote. I don't even know how they got to that, but that's a great ending to this.
Yeah. I actually thought he took the shot, or I got like a little bit of it. And I was just
I feel like he tasted it.
It went down his throat. Hey, Well, if it get down your throat, that mean it's there. That mean the burn is in your chest. So,
This is true.
and I don't know when he took a shot. In my mind, it was like tequila, but it was probably whiskey. But then, of course, his pager goes off because somebody just died, and it's Teddy's associate, and he's just like trying to get Ruben. And he's like, if you don't want to see the inside of a jail cell, do all of this. And Teddy's associate is just like, gave him the address once, and he said, repeat the address to me. And Franklin was shook. Franklin was like, I didn't know she was gonna do that. And he's like, I don't give a fuck about Teddy. I want Ruben. And so Franklin been ignoring B's calls all day. But then he like, let me go ahead and get Ruben. And she's at the stash house concerned, asking questions. Were you afraid, like, when you saw Ruben saying all of this stuff, he's like, don't do it, Franklin, don't do it, like begging for his life. Like,
it made me think of Atlanta season 3, the opener, when he dropped him off. As soon as he started pulling off, he just seen bodies coming out the shadows, and they grabbed Ruben and they pulled back. I was just like, bruh.
That shit's, I'm not gonna lie, that was a scary ass scene, because I was like, zombies, nigga? Like, it's zombies?
Like, where they even come from that quick?
They were so fast. Like, they were so close, they could have said, hey, Franklin. They could have said, just pop your trunk. We'll get him. Yeah, but I thought that shot, I'm not Jason. That shot was so eerie. Because it was like 3 dudes. Ruben is 5'7". What you need 3 men for?
Well, I get it. They were gonna take care of him because he's been doing too much.
That scene had me shook. Like, even on my rewatch, I was just like, "Whoo, that was shot really." I was
like, "What's up, people?" Yeah, it definitely was. They pulled up instantly,
and you can see the fear in Franklin's face too.
Yeah, that whole scene, how it played out. When we wake up next day, Lee is looking, speaking to his soldiers, looking for a new connect. That's when Frank, he visits him, and he was like, "Hey, we sent Prentice out to see your mom. She wouldn't even talk to him, and I can't see her until she gets arraigned." And he said, Lee, I gotta ask. I owe you $5. I know you owe you $500,000. I'm gonna get that. I don't know how. Nigga, what you mean you don't know how? For him, the audacity for him to be like, I don't know how, but how much you got? Yes, let me get that $3 million, and I'm gonna offer you this deal or this situation. I'm like, bro, you was not. No.
Leon was looking at him with the straightest face, like, I'm gonna let you finish it, then I'm gonna say no. The reason why I know that is because I have been in situations where I'm like, I'm gonna let you finish, and then I'm going to say no. He was like, I'm gonna put you on as a partner where you should have been the entire time. And I'm like, oh, so now that you need some money from me, now I'm partner worthy? That was my first thought when he said that. And I was just like, see, nah, like he talking about, oh, I can go ahead and then pay you back 5-10 times the amount, or like buy you out. And I'm sitting here like, Franklin, this shit sound like a 10-year plan. And the drug game ain't really a 10-year plan that you plan for.
It ain't.
So I'm like, some people probably were mad that Leon didn't give him the money. I think I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but they definitely, hell no. That wasn't the situation where he give that to him. And he said, it's blood money. If I can give it back, I would. Well, like, give it back to me. Donate it to me.
Well, I can't.
I can't. Your mama sacrifice meant too much, and but he was a noble dude. So he wasn't gonna give that up. And then Sissy gets arraigned, and she in there. You should say something about the Leon.
Yeah, because like Franklin was like, either you gonna give it to me or I'm gonna take it. And then you hear the gun clock back. Like, where did niggas come from? Y'all like ninjas. Because Franklin didn't hear none of them come in. Jason, if you look at that scene, it's like 17 people in there, one room.
It was 3 people, and it went to a gang of niggas.
Can you imagine a person on the door like this? Hey, yo, this nigga Franklin. Wow.
He bugging again.
Like, everybody was in that room. And then Leon was just chilling there. And then Franklin was like, so this is how it's going to end. And I love how Leon was just like, no, did he say this is how you want it to end?
Yeah.
And then then Leon was like, no. was like, no, I don't want it to end like this, but I'm not giving you that money.
You the one that's changing. You're changing the outcome. And Franklin you can just see he just looked weak at them, like at that moment, just like how he, how his whole composure, how he was looking, he just looked shook, like feeble, just the entire thing. His whole character was just removed.
He ain't took no shower in a while.
Yeah, he been out there. He been out there, blood, fields, everything. He just been on the move. Smell like lick.
In both these pictures, he wearing the same thing.
Ex-
But you know who's not? Sissy.
You don't like her in her blue?
Look, she don't like her in her blue.
Yeah, heck no. But like you said, like what I was saying previously, Sissy is getting the rain, and she on the stand, like she talking like Nino Brown on the stand. She just trying to get everybody out of there. I plead guilty. The government is doing. I'm like, you can't do that. Like everything got to be stricken. Not supposed to be heard. It's not gonna be a different situation. It's not gonna make anything different. But this is when we see this cop I've never seen in my life sitting in here, and he calls out Franklin. And he go, I know what type of nigga you are. Da 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 da. I'm like, bro, first off, I don't even know who you is, bro. We ain't got no beef. Who are you to pull up on me like this?
I don't think this scene was needed.
I agree.
I don't think this scene was needed.
Which one? With him? With the cop?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah. I think probably seeing Franklin leave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I don't think this scene had any type of impact to the story outside of you getting a list of names of people that have died that has connections to Sissy and Franklin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like that's it. And I was just like, are we supposed to see him again? Is this
I thought we were.
Right.
I thought somebody we supposed to know, but it wasn't nobody we knew.
Because I feel like you had enough time jumps to where you could have brought him back,
mm-hmm.
but it could have been something that was used there. But maybe it was just we need a cop for right now. But hell, you could have got one of the DEA agents. Because didn't they know who Franklin was?
I don't know if they did.
That's wild. They didn't know Franklin, but they knew Louis.
Louis took when the excuse me, when the DEA got involved, Louis took over. Franklin was out the game at that point.
Oh shit, that's right. Because after he got shot, yeah. Either way, they probably could have just cut his scene.
It could have been. They could have gave that to a different. Another scene could have been expanded or made. In that, like you said, it wasn't. It wasn't needed, but I enjoyed the next scene with Leon and Wanda. Them having their I guess final kudos, their final talk. She kind of questioning, do you think Franklin would actually do something? He was like, nah, I really don't think he would do anything to me. And she kind of told him the shelter's gonna have to close because the money that Sissy was given, she no longer can give, and she's just gonna use the money that she got to buy her one-way ticket to Ghana. And her main thing was Leon didn't try to fight for her. In that, how were you feeling about this?
I felt bad for Wanda, but I understood for Leon because you don't want her to stay and to end up back where she was before y'all even left to go to Ghana to get back on that rock or possibly catch a bullet. It's not safe where you are, but you're trying to get things set up around you to where once it's set up and everybody's good, then you can leave. But that's going to take time. And with Wanda being there, it's taking a toll on her and she's at risk. So I definitely understood why Leon was like, just take this. You're my wife. Go start a new life. That hurt because I was just like, wait, you want her to get a new husband too? Is it I got one in the U.S., but I got one over here too, so where it's not cheating?
Look at what you thinking about.
Is that not where your mind went?
It definitely didn't. It was Leon, leave with your woman. Go with your woman.
That's what Sissy said, but I thought Leon was like, go start a new life, like find somebody else to love.
I didn't get that at all. What's wrong with you, Jazz?
Why something got to be wrong? Look, if anybody else got that, let us know. Because I'm sitting here like, I thought he was just saying goodbye forever.
Nah, he definitely. I don't think he said. I don't think that's what he was going for because he was like, my money is our money. You know what I'm saying? Which he gave her some of his, part of that 3 meal he had to make the trip, but also to live a life. Not a life that she would have to figure it out, but actually, you know,
So she's supposed to stay single when she get over there?
hell yeah,
They probably get lonely.
She'll be all right.
All right.
She got a whole bunch of thinking anyway. All that rock she was doing, she need to sit her ass down and chill. She need to just chill for a good little minute. Hell, she was wreaking havoc 3, 4 seasons in the Snowfall. Yeah, dog, pulling out teeth and some. Yeah, nah. She need to relax.
Nah, but now we got Franklin finally goes to see Sissy. So I'm curious what was going through Sissy's mind in
Fuck
this.
this nigga.
And do you think that was pretty much triggered soon as Franklin said, "I'm not killing Teddy"? Because I'm curious of when it just switched off. Because she was communicating with him, she was talking to him, but now he's coming to see you, asking you, we can still, help you out. Stop saying the stuff about the government. They could actually kill you in here and make it look like a suicide. And she's just like, I ain't got shit to say to you.
Yeah, I mean, but she told him she wasn't going to talk to him ever again. She stuck to that boundary. She never spoke to him again.
I thought she said, I'm never going to see you again.
She said, I'm never going to speak. I'm never going to deal with you. Like, that's the end of our relationship. So, like
you dead to me.
Yeah, basically when they were at the before they went to the meet, she told him. So it was he chose the money over not speaking to her again. I think she said speaking to me again. I feel like she said speaking to me because that's what she stuck to that shit. She whatever it was, she ain't speak to nigga again. He went to go see her twice in jail, and like she's lonely in there. So like for her not to be speaking is kind of crazy. Like wasting, like you need to speak to somebody.
She probably got friends.
I mean, she took that chance like he sold it, but he was kind of out of line. I mean, I don't know. He was thinking about his mama, but she thinking about him. So her, regardless of whatever him getting out of jail, it would have just been it's me and you, mama. So we got to figure it out now, type thing. And yeah, he went from I think somebody say he went from the mama's boy to the kingpin. So now he almost like that mama's boy, but like the one that never left the house, type thing. I almost felt like that.
Yeah, because at this point, he doesn't have anybody else. Like he asked Lee for help. He said no. Jerome is dead. V don't know the streets, and Louis is gone. So he definitely felt probably alone and lost. That's why you got to make friends in the drug deals, so you know who to talk to. And Oso's gone. So I don't know. And then like he's just like his money is gone. He doesn't have any way of getting his money. So yeah, I can definitely see what's going on like with Franklin. Then you see him crashing more because now he's at his mom's house and he gets a visit from Mr. Davis. And we see how that unfolds. Mr. Davis just popped by, like, oh, I want to talk to you about your proposal. He's like, what you talking about? I ain't hit you up about nothing. And of course, he's finding out about the downtown property.
Mm-hmm.
His partner put an offer in to sell to them. Franklin did not take this news lightly because the way he was in Mr. Davis's space, he said, "Is that all?" He was like, "You've been misinformed." So Mr. Davis was like, "Well, what part?" "Me selling my stake." Misinformed. But I'll speak to my partner about that. And then he opened the door. He was like, "Is there anything else?" And just seeing how close they were, Mr. Davis was like, "I guess it's not." He's like, basically, get the fuck out of my house.
He must not know. He must not know who Franklin was.
I think he did.
Yeah, okay. Because it's kind of strange. He kind of pulled up in that manner, like just like it was out. She was peaches and cream.
Right. Well, he tried to go to the office, but the office was closed. Of course, because their checks are bouncing.
Yeah, they got shot up too by Louis and Franklin, Louis and Jerome, they shot it up.
Oh, that's right. Oof. Not safe to work there. Gotta have really
I,
good
and when
health
I see
insurance.
and when I seen it, I would have been like, yeah, no, I'm not dealing with this nigga, no way.
Even if he would have started giving you a bonus and a vest and a gun in your
Hey
desk.
man, if I'm Davis, no, I wouldn't. I'm sorry, if I'm Davis, I'm not dealing with Franklin at all.
But
Like in that, I would have dealt with whoever the partner was that was talking to me. That's just who I would have dealt with.
yeah, but Davis, he isn't he's their competitor.
Yeah, I know, but
And
I would have
so
just so I would have dealt with whoever reached out to their proposal. That's the only person I would have talked to.
right. So you probably wouldn't have been as aggressive towards Davis as Franklin was.
You would think not. Whoever reached out.
Yeah. But then we see the next scene. Franklin goes speaks to V.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How you feel about this scene?
Man, this is a tough one. Because again, everybody's in the game, they understand, but we also know the respect thing was he never had put his hand on her. So at this point, he broke everything that he said he wouldn't do. He disrespected a woman. He rose his hand. He choked her. He grabbed her, talked to her in a way that just belittled who she was. So how she reacts or how she goes about this afterwards. I definitely was like, man, this bro. I never liked her from whenever we was introduced to her because I always thought she was a cop. I always thought she was the feds. Her mom kind of told who she was, but it goes back to pretty much what Franklin told her to do. She just responded in that manner because she was just like, shit, this nigga lost. And she was, I felt like she really was trying to stay down for him because she said even within that situation, anything that she did and he said something to her, regardless if she was mad, she went along with it, she rode with him. So after he disrespected her, it was just like, let me just go ahead and cut ties
Yeah.
from this.
And definitely when it gets to that level of disrespect. And you see, because a lot of people value having respect. And
Mm-hmm.
so V was just like, I've been with you this entire time. And then when she found out that he sold the I think it was a Southside projects or those
Mm-hmm.
buildings, and
He saw.
V was just like, "Well, you just sunk us." And he said, "No, I didn't. But even if I did, I built this shit." And so like he echoed that a lot this season.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just seeing him crumble. And I'm pretty sure what the words that her mother told her at the beginning of this season echoed in her mind. She was like, your man is becoming undone." And V is finally seeing that happen with Franklin. And then, like you
Mm-hmm.
just mentioned, when he put his hands around her neck, she was like, "Oh nah, this is not what we about to do." And so I was just like, I didn't expect her to react the way she did the scenes later in this episode,
Mm-hmm.
which really shocked me because like we've been seeing, she's been in his corner the entire time. And so I was just like, oh, didn't see that panning out the way that it did, but it was real interesting. And so now we see Sissy and Leon at the jail. And so I thought this scene was beautiful because then we see them interact in their mother-daughter relationship. Um no, excuse me, mother-son relationship. And it gave me flashbacks of when she was braiding his hair.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see when Franklin came to see her, and then you see when Leon came to see her.
Mm-hmm.
So how'd you feel about this and their interaction and her blue?
I mean, I didn't really care. I'm gonna be honest with you. It
Oh
didn't. I
shit.
I didn't care at all. Not until when she was like, um, "You are my great." Franklin is my greatest. My greatest tragedy. But you are my greatest surprise. And I felt like she make this. It's this look that she gives him, and it's like she was trying to hold it back, like she was trying to hold her emotions back, and then like she like put her head down. I was like, oh shit, now it got me. That's when it got me. Like I was, because I'm like, I'm still mad. Like I'm still mad at this woman. Like for everything you did, like bro. But then I'm like, she did that face. I'm like, I can't. You couldn't even deny the face, and she was like, and I felt like when she told him, "I love you," it was like something that she wanted to say to Franklin as well, but she couldn't.
Right.
But I do feel like she does love Leon as well. But I do feel like it was the things that she's telling them, like I love you, like I love, But then, cause she never be able to say that to him, just given, where he is, him being lost. But I don't, man, that's a hard thing to do to your child. Like, to even regardless of, however you go about it, like not talking to them, like that's a tough one. When you see like they're spiraling, like even if it was like, hey, I can't do that, but I need you to get with Leon, please. Like, just do one thing for me. Like some kind of level of guidance, because this man has been the man for quite some time. He's been running things for quite some time. It all got took. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. And I appreciated this scene more so because do you remember when after Leon accidentally killed Scully's daughter, he was trying to leave town. He was trying to get his money that he left at his mom's house. And when he went over there, his mom was like, "People sick, we got bills, that money gone." And so we don't really see too much relationship with Leon and his family.
Mm-hmm.
And
And what happened to his kids? He had kids and everything already. He just went to Ghana, just didn't no kid was there. Like,
I don't know, but it was just it seemed like when he was interacting with his mom earlier in the seasons, it was more of a aggressive type of relationship. But with Sissy, he had something completely different.
mm-hmm.
And so when she was just like, "This is what I need you to do: get us pack a bag, fill it up with books." She didn't say clothes, she didn't say money, she said books.
Mm-hmm.
And then go with your wife to Ghana, because she knew what they were doing, where they were at.
Mm-hmm.
It was not going to lead down a positive road. And she told him, she was like, "I understand what you're doing, but I don't like how you're doing." And Leon was like, "I ain't coming for advice." So now that's a mother son. I'm like, oh, I don't know how mother son relationships are, but mother daughter, like, I ain't saying that to my mama. Like,
I get it. I
but
get it.
I thought that, so you was crying in the scene?
It almost got me, because I was like, it's that face. It's like whenever she does it, she looks at him and she like puts her head down, because like it's like I'm ashamed, I'm vulnerable, I'm open, and you can just she conveyed it very well.
Right. So now we got Franklin at the bank. Whoo,
Every
man.
time he heard some news, like the way they shot the scene, it was like you see his head spin. Like that was like the world just like, oh my God, like this. Ah, yeah.
I This scene reminded me of the scene in Creed when the last fight, Creed 3 at the last fight, when it was just them in the match and
Okay,
all the
gotcha.
audience people were gone. And so when
Mhm.
you see the camera pan around Franklin, everybody in the bank was no longer there. And then it went back around again, and then they were there again. And so I just thought that scene was so dope because it was just him sitting there, and you hear the dialogue that he's having with the accountant or the guy at the bank, and but you're not seeing nobody else in the bank.
Mhm.
And I was just like, it was just something about this scene. It was just so creative. And I was just
Mhm.
like trying to think, okay, a lot of the scenes that they do with Unique, it always has a purpose to where everything around him is just falling apart. He already lost his 74 mil. And now he's coming here and he finds out that V took, was it 128,000, or was it
She took 800,000.
a whole hell of a lot than what I just said? Oh, okay.
He was trying to get 120, like in different things. He was just trying to, and he was just going about it a different way, and he was just trying to get anything he could from what was left of what he had.
Yeah. And then we see everything is gone. And so like if you were Franklin in this moment, like where are you at with everything
That's
that's been
the
going
top of
on?
the top of a bridge.
It's time to go out. It's time to get up out of here. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's just I was like, wait a minute. So we weren't rooting for her, but then we was like, okay, she really down for him. Okay, she with him. No, wait a
Mhm.
minute. This bitch really took his money.
The last of it, the last of what he did have put away. ran off on the plug. But again, he gave her that advice to drain everything out, go out the country.
I was not expecting that from her character at all whatsoever.
I've not liked her since I've seen her. Every woman he's had has turned on him in some way or was playing him in a different way. So I mean, Mel was cool. She just got on rock. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a little bit a little
bit of
different
rock.
situation. A little rock. She hit a little rock and chased that dragon, as they like to say. Uh,
Who
so
says
yeah.
that?
They say that. They say they chase that dragon. After they hit that person, they want it again. So yeah. And Frank ends up back in the prison. I don't know. This scene kind of felt like when Lorenz Tate snapped in Dead Presidents. That's what it almost felt like. But but that emotion that he conveyed, it definitely. I don't know who he was trying to get when he was doing it, but I felt it. I was like, man, somebody got to whoop his ass after this scene. Like, I want, and that was, I text you. I said he hasn't been on the press run with everybody. It's been, and I say everybody, like all them niggas been put. Ruben was at the Oso, Teddy, Sissy, Leon, everybody except Frank. I said I wonder if he's okay. Like, because the way he had to play this season mentally, like you see him on Instagram, like, whenever his girlfriend posts stuff, but like you don't see him. And I just wonder if he's okay. Hopefully he is. Like, because I know it does take a toll. We seen Michael B. Jordan say it after Killmonger. We got the Heath Ledger story, and these characters take a toll. So hopefully he is. But
no, that's a definitely good point, because I feel like sometimes when we see in these type of movies and shows, we forget these characters tap into a space that normally they probably would never be in, and they have to go down a road that could be extremely dark. So just making sure they have somebody to talk to for their mental health, of like, how are you feeling, just to get them out of that realm. Because I agree, this scene was, it was a lot. A lot of
it
bitches
was
was
tough.
dropped.
It was tough.
And
a lot of fuck yous.
Yeah, and so you can hear the pain and just everything. And Sissy's she just does her final walk. And so I was like, now what is Franklin gonna do? And so we pretty much see him. And I don't remember if it was a time jump from the scene of him being, it was about was it 2 or 3 months?
It was 3 months.
Okay, so he's back because he was trying to get money to sell the house. Because he was
he went to it to try to sell the house.
Right, because he was like, look, Mom, you ain't never getting out of here.
Those are the facts.
I'm like, Franklin, that might not be the best way to start this conversation, but she just looking at him with a straight face. He was like, how the fuck you not gonna talk to me? And so she just was like, she just walked away. So now he can't sell the house. Now he has to live there, but which hell he needs to, because where else he gonna live at? And now he's drinking more.
Mm-hmm.
And he's over here trying to move money around and get some extension to where on the property. And I feel like that was his main focus, was that downtown property.
It was.
Dude, I don't think that was smart. I would have sold it.
I would have too. I would have got rid of everything, because at that point you just need to live. Like, right. How can you got operating costs, you have bills, property tax. There's so much that goes into that. Like, get rid of it, cut your losses, and just, deal what you have. Like you said, it said 3 months. But we get that the first episode callback. He links up with Top Notch. I don't know why they showed us like 3-pager numbers, like we knew what these numbers was when they got them. Like, it was just like, did I write this down somewhere? No, I didn't. Like, I don't have it. So he's talking to Top Notch. In the beginning, I bet a lot of people forgot that the 2 things he told him about. He was like, where are you at on that Peachy situation? He was like, I'm still working on it. I don't know. Okay, so we're Teddy and the wife. Well, what about the father and the woman, in there, which he figured out what Teddy dad was, but he didn't know what Peaches was. I guess Top Notch was either, I don't know what made Top Notch so fed up with Franklin, but he pretty much cut ties. But before he gave him a parting gift. He gave him a parting gift. It's Peaches. You figure out, Peaches has been hiding not out the country, but up the street. Just
25 miles away.
25 miles away. And of course, Franklin pulled up. What did you expect it to be Peaches?
No, I don't
I
know
definitely
who no,
I
I thought it was gonna be Reed's girl.
okay.
I thought it was gonna be her only for the simple fact that that's the only other person that has ties to maybe any kind of information to get that money. Because I feel like Reed would have put in place if something happens to me, she gets it. That's who
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was. But then I was just like, well, how would Franklin have known about her? But then Top Notch is the person who finds all of everybody's information. So
Exactly.
I completely forgot about Peaches, but I was just like, if we don't get Peaches storyline,
Closing.
yeah, I'm like, that's gonna be I'm like, come on, y'all.
I
But
knew. I knew when he did. Oh shit, that's Peaches. Like that's the Peaches information because he said he wasn't doing Veronique, but you make it out to Peaches. I thought he had AIDS. I'm not gonna lie to you.
me too. Me too.
But we see, he may have had him though,
Cause
because
I
he
mean, he
that
had
that
a
looked that looked
homeboy.
that looked crazy. That the way he was looking up in there,
And look
Franklin,
who was coming to his house.
man,
Pe-
Peaches tried to, yeah,
Peaches might have had
Peaches.
that die slow.
So he catch Peaches, on the couch, he say, he confronts him, nigga, I thought you went out the country, but your bitch ass never even made it, probably because you was on their drugs. Um,
He was like, Franklin Saint, hey,
yeah,
you know you're not supposed to say hey to somebody who you just stole $5 million from, well, 2 seasons ago. But
if
he
you're
was
on
hot,
if you're on drugs, maybe.
man.
If you're on drugs, maybe that, but he tries to, tell him he got to stay in the back. But of course, he tried to pull his gun. Franklin gets the best of him, takes him out
His
in
plot
that.
armor gets the best of him. Franklin even thought he got shot. He was like, what? Oh
I
no.
mean, he barely, he could probably barely even bring his hand up to make that happen.
Nah. Plot armor.
You gotta let that go. He sees this safe. He can't get into it. He calls 100 different locksmiths. I don't think a locksmith will ever do that in real life. But I mean, if you find somebody who's hard pressed or looking for some money, they might.
In the 80s though.
If this is true,
And
this is
then
true.
the kind of neighborhood that Peaches was in, nice neighborhood, nice house, you're not thinking nothing of it. But that house looked like it was stinking.
Yeah, no, I definitely say, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have been in there not too long. But if you're looking for that money, probably so. So he got the guy. He begins to open it up. Some white guy just randomly pops up, and he's like, I got this. You continue what you're doing. I got this." And he shot him. I was like, "Oh, this nigga unhinged. This nigga has lost it." Or I'm like, the other
What
guy, Miguel, out of here.
what you supposed to do? Would you have let him go?
I would have knocked him out. I wouldn't have shot him though.
Oh, you would have hit him over the head.
I would have bust him up, knocked him out pretty good, made sure he didn't get back up. But I love that he killed him though, because it was just like, oh yeah, we see the darkness in him.
I'm not leaving him alive. Miguel, yeah, I would have left Miguel alive, but that one
I
right
probably
there,
would. I probably would have left Miguel alive.
I knew
He's
when Miguel was opening up the safe, I was like, and when we found out how much it was, and then
I
Franklin,
thought it was more than that. I was like, oh man, he got
I didn't think it was anything in there. I'm like, Peaches smoked up all your money,
man.
but when he told Miguel to count it, and Miguel was like, it's about 12K. Did you see? Did you see online where people was just like, that's how much he got his for his first brick?
His first brick was 12,000. Yeah, the first key he got was 12,000. That's what he got back in the end. Return
And I
on investment. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, somebody was like, man, he smoked up $4,988,000 worth of coke, worth of crack rather.
well, you got to take some of that out because he bought a house.
He bought a house. I'm pretty sure he bought the house. He bought the safe. He was probably kicking it. He probably was paying people to stay out the way. Top Notch probably had that information for quite some time and just didn't give it to him. Allow him a few years to do what he was doing.
I mean, but I think he at least dropped 2 mil on coke or crack.
More than likely.
So, but Franklin just starts laughing. And I think the laugh is because he remembered that he got $12K for his first key, and he just told Miguel, just put it in your pocket. And I thought when he asked Miguel his last name, he was just like, if I need to come find you, I know where you are. Instead of actually killing him. Because I'm sitting here like, why did you ask him his last name if you was gonna kill him anyway?
Probably just know who he was before he did it. Then I don't know. He should have just left it impersonal and just killed him.
I felt so bad because he was just like, I got kids. Like he just went on a job. I was I was like, all right, Franklin, you doing the absolute most. And he just got his 12K.
Yeah. We get that. He kills him. Then we get that 2-year time jump. DA looking for Louis. Who cares? She in the chicken coop looking like Smokey on Friday. She tripping out. Also teaching kids how to wrestle. Out there, he's checking the voicemails to see that they made it to South Carolina, living
North
on.
Carolina. They're
There was
in
North
North
Carolina.
Carolina.
Okay,
It was
okay,
North
okay, gotcha. North
Carolina.
Carolina. You sure?
Go look it up.
I
I
will.
know it was
I
North
will.
Carolina.
I will. And we gonna see. We gonna see. North Carolina. But she wants to see him again. She definitely wants to see him again. But the time jump that we were waiting for, it was a year later. Leon's back in the hood. He walking around. Gets the hood's going bad. Kids pressing him. What set you playing, cuz? And, you're like, no, I'm not in no set. I used to grew up in the neighborhood. There's somebody in the house. And we catch up with Franklin. Franklin is life has took a toll. Has beat Franklin ass for 3 years. 3 years and 3 years and 6 months. No, 3 months. 3 years and 3 months. He's got his ass beat during this time. Teeth is gone. He a drunk, stuck in the house, recluse, not dealing with people. He's shut off from the outside world, and they just have this, I guess, a day with his boy. How this last scene? How was this for you?
It was heartbreaking. But then, like I said earlier, stories like this don't have happy endings. There was no way Franklin was going to have a happy ending. It was going to be either he was going to end up in jail or dead. Now, ending up becoming one of the individuals that he was selling his drugs to, I was not expecting that. Um, but it also made me not so upset with how it ended. And I know a lot of people were just like, damn, they didn't have to do my man Frank like that. And I'm like, well, would you have rather him go out like Cleo? So I definitely didn't see him ending up in jail after seeing what happened to Sissy. I
Yeah,
was like, they're
yeah.
not both gonna have them in jail. So I was just like, nah.
That
So I
could be
definitely
though. It could be. Just some little
nah.
pinmates.
Nah, I didn't see that for him, but I do like this interaction. And he did such an amazing job with this as you just see them walking around. And he was just like, is you shitting back here? I live back here. Get the hell out of here. And so he was just asking Leon how he was doing. And then Leon was just like, he was like, how's Wanda? And they were like, they're doing all right. He was like, is she still with her first love? And then he does like smoking crack. And I was just like, first off, Franklin, you don't need to be making jokes about nobody.
Not at this point. No.
And so you heard Leon was just like, marriage isn't easy, but we make it work. Which is like a realistic type of response. And so Franklin also said he brought up Veronique, and he was like, that she called him and told him that they had a son, that he's doing all right, and that she's gonna raise him right. Why are you making that face? You looking like,
Because I don't believe it. I don't. I mean, when she had the stomach pains, I feel like she lost the baby.
I thought
Well,
that too.
I feel like she just reached out to just give him, like she said, some kind of solace in the situation. So it was just like to ease his mind type of thing, because she know everything that went on went on in that. So I don't think so. But I mean, I guess we have to go at face value.
Yeah, because I'm curious, like if she didn't, why did we even get that scene? That
Exactly.
scene
Like
wasn't
it didn't.
like
Yeah. And I feel like she was going to tell him I lost the baby, but he was like, his whatever he was talking about Trump, what she was for to say, so she just stopped.
right. And I guess because they were so close to getting the money,
Mm-hmm.
and because she said, like, even just going back earlier when she was like, I have been trying to call you when he was about to choke her. And she could have been blowing his phone up. Shit, that actually does make me think that she did lose the baby, because she was just like, we need to talk, and they didn't really have a chance to talk prior to him choking her out. And when he choked her out, that might have just been like, you know what, fuck this, let me go ahead and steal his money. Excuse me, our money.
Yeah,
his money.
exactly.
So
Exactly, man. But we get a nice little boys in the hood call back. That was the scene when Trey and Q were kids. Cause they had the little outfit, the same exact outfits on out there. He was like, "You niggas not gonna win the Oscar," and that's that's what they told John back in the day. Like he would never win it, even though he was nominated. And they
y'all
go
want
to
to
the
see a dead body?
yeah, exactly,
That scene.
exactly. Yeah, and they went to the store. He asked for 10 to go into the store as Leon was offering him a job. Leon is offering him a job to help him. He's like, yeah, let me get $10. I ain't worried about that. Like, oh shit, a 20. And that's why I said that little callback of Louis saying the 20 that they what they were willing to do for $20 back in the day, which is kind of weird. When they fast forwarded to now, so he gets to go in, get him some liquor. They heading back to the house, and we find out the house is getting seized. But Franklin, of course, he's paranoid, thinking about everything. He think everybody out to get him at this point, which I mean, the feeling is warranted, even if it's not true. So he's just like, I'm gonna, I'm free. I'm about to be free. That's the last thing that they got on me. I can just live out here. I'm done with the game. But he told Leon, "You my best friend. You're the best fucking friend I ever had." And he was like, "I could pay for the place." He was like, "Nah, I'm good." He's like, "Nah, I'm good. I did the change they offer me. I'm done." And he just walks in the street aimlessly. It's that Kendrick Lamar's Pride song comes on, because, like I said, that Pride came at the fall. Which, although that is a 2016 song, it definitely fit being this LA, this Franklin, and the giving of the situation. So, and that was the ending of this great series created by John Singleton.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of shows, it's very hard for them to end, but I think Snowfall did an amazing job. I was not upset with this ending at all whatsoever. And so then we also know that there could be a possible spinoff. Well, there is one in the works, which has Gail
Wanda.
Bean, which is Wanda. She's in it. And so when Leon referenced her, it's like she getting into the music. So curious to see what comes from that. But I definitely want to say it was a scene where Franklin and Leon was talking, and Franklin was like, "Women, why a sexy chocolate nigga like me can't keep a bitch?" And I was just like, and both of them are laughing. So it's like, can you even think of a last time those two were together and they were actually laughing about something and not one of them being upset?
Man, it's been some seasons.
And so it's just to see where they started and to see where they ended up. Never would have thought they would have came here, because I think Leon started off as the aggressive friend. Now he was like the muscle.
He did. He was.
And it was just ended completely different. And of course, we see where Franklin ended up. So
Unfortunately, man.
So was it good though?
That's a fact. It was. It definitely was. I enjoyed it. It definitely showed you every every aspect of what the dope game can get, from character going to jail. Sometimes people do make it out. You got Leon. Some people fall victim to the system. You got Franklin. You got people that unfortunately have to look over their shoulders for the rest of their life. You got Louis. So you just see that parallel from every different person.
Damn, that's deep. You had an example for each of those. That's what's up. But you're absolutely right. Because a lot of shows or movies that touch on these type of areas, you don't really get too many people to come out and survive at all.
This is true.
I wish more bodies would have failed.
I agree.
But
I'm cool with how they ended it. They ended it as well, they ended it well. So I'm not gonna say as well as they could have, but they ended it well. Like, yeah, I didn't see this coming. I don't, I don't know.
And that's
What else?
always good when it's something that you didn't even think would end the way that it did. Everybody was just like, all right, it's gonna be Franklin versus Leon shootout.
I text you that as soon as I said, "Oh my god, it better not fucking be that." You was like, "Bet not fucking be." LOL.
I mean, a lot of people were thinking that, and realistically, they set it up for it to be similar to that.
To make it feel that way, and
Right.
they went completely different with it.
I think that's great writing. Like,
I agree.
so your Link of Thrones, who you got? It was kind of tough.
Yeah, they got quite a few. I'm gonna go with Paige Kennedy. This was Percy the pimp named Schlickback. He's in the Upshaws. I used to like him on Vine back in the day.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do Angela Lewis, who is Louis.
Louis, I figured that. I didn't even know it, but I figured it.
She was in Fair Game.
I never seen that, but so. Just okay. It's okay.
Oh, I know. Ain't gotta tell me. But the question I definitely wanted to ask you was, out of these three characters, who do you think had the best character development from the best to the least when you think of Leon, Wanda, and Scully?
I'm going Leon because we fully seen Leon from the beginning to the end. Leon, Scully, and I feel like Scully probably got introduced in season 1, but I think Leon, just given we've seen the full scope of him. Yeah, we've seen Wanda. Wanda got introduced as Leon's girlfriend, and then she fell into crack. But yeah, I'm definitely going with Leon in that situation.
Okay. And since we are finished, out of Franklin, Reed, and Louis, give me your villain percentage now that you've seen all of it.
Man, 50, 55 Teddy. No, I don't know. Go down. Let me see. 40. No, so 40 Teddy, 35. No, 30. Yeah, 40 Teddy, 35 Franklin, 25 Louis. In the I'm not Teddy is never getting replaced. At no point is Teddy ever being replaced. But yeah, Franklin definitely engaged a lot of the situations that him and his family had to endure. He's the one that Howard did all that. Louis is to blame for Jerome's death, but outside of that, everything else, Franklin. It was Franklin.
Okay. All right. I ain't mad at that. My ranking is still going to be wherever I said it was a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah, mine changed. Franklin was the devil.
Yeah.
He admitted it though.
Yeah. Talking like John Wick. But I will ask you, have you ever seen you've seen The Wire, have you seen Narcos?
Mm-mm.
Damn, because I was gonna ask you.
You trying to do a ranking?
Yeah, or just because thinking of like some of the top shows where they center around
Drugs and government.
yes, and
Gotcha.
the main ones that I think probably are the best that I've seen, of course, The Wire. I think Snowfall definitely amazing. Narcos for sure. And I'm sure somebody will probably add Narcos Mexico, but I personally have not seen that. But
What about Breaking Bad? I've never watched it. Would Breaking Bad fit in it, or they don't have government?
They don't center around it as much. I don't think. No, because your two main characters are ones that's actually doing all the pulling, but all the well, shit. Actually, someone could probably make the argument you could ask Breaking Bad in there. When I think of those, I wouldn't put Breaking Bad in there, but I would not be upset if somebody did.
Gotcha. Yeah, I couldn't rank them because I've never seen it. Majority of what you just said beyond this, and like I said, I wouldn't, and I can't even really compare the two because they did such a not Snowfall, but Wire did such a great job with so many different people. They changed the people and swapped them out from deaths to jail to different things. to make a different point. In Snowfall, we have the same 5 people. We followed 5 people the entire thing. So I mean, you see it, and you see different trials, tribulations, but it's completely different.
You've seen Power?
I think I wouldn't put that in this. I wouldn't put that in this. I wouldn't put that in this.
So if I said rank The Wire, Snowfall, and Power.
I would do Wire, Snowfall, then Power. That's how I would rank it. But I really enjoyed Power, but it got kind of crazy at the end.
But that's the kind of shit you like. The like random.
Yeah, no, not like that though. Oh. Not like that.
Okay. So I guess looking at it now, since we have Snowfall finished and then The Wire, I'm surprised I haven't seen any kind of debates of which is better.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't think they changed with anybody. Like Snowfall is good, it was great, but yeah, The Wire was that show.
Right. Well, was there anything else you wanted to add?
I don't think so. You actually hit the 2 things I had that I wanted to add. So no.
What I'm talking about, and I got excited because I got the alert because it's draft night, and so the Panthers just drafted Bryce Young. Keep pounding.
Okay.
We about to tear y'all up. But
fuck out of here, bro. I'm closing this out. Yes, this is the Snowfall Part 2. Episode 47. Again, we appreciate everybody that listens, that engages. We've had a lot of great feedback from the last episode, so we hopefully you enjoyed this part 2. This was a hard watch. The last 5 episodes, it was a great watch, but a hard one. So please keep engaging, keep talking. We appreciate everybody. Again, we have a Discord community where we talk about movies, shows that we want. We can't get everything, but the stuff we watch a lot, so we talk about it a lot. So we do appreciate y'all. I am Jason. I am joined with Jazz. Any last comments, ma'am?
Nah, thank you to everybody, new and old listeners and watchers.
Well, we appreciate y'all. Have a nice one. Thank you.